what I'm saying.
Oh, free.
All right, we actually have to introduce ourselves this time because I feel like I was recording this podcast today at the studio or whatever, and they did a really shitty intro, and then I was thinking about it. It's like we're trying to tell. The key to everything is the story, and you need to introduce the characters of the story.
Yes,
before
makes it
you can
relatable.
No, exactly. It paints the picture.
Are we talking full on intro or just my name is John?
This is Evan Stoltman.
Hey,
See
Evan.
those? No, and then
we
you
going
go
clockwise.
I don't give a
I
fuck.
am John Laxon.
Laxative.
Derek Ross.
Nathan Scar.
All right, that was awkward.
That's the can opener, bro.
It's the can opener. Okay, so
The can is open.
yeah, the can is currently open. I hope
is.
so.
The beans are cool.
It's getting open. Yeah, we gotta throw them on the fryer a little.
Okay.
Some pork and beans. Good
song.
shit.
That was a good song. Weezer.
I was more talking about the actual pork and beans, the food.
True.
Beans and wieners.
Good shit.
Yeah, it's classic. I had that the other day. All right, so what's on everyone's mind?
How do you feel now that the podcast is up? The second episode now as well is up.
I
You
was
shared
notified
it
of
on
the second
Facebook and SoundCloud and everything. How's the reception been? How do you feel?
I feel really good because I listened to that second episode and I was like, wow, that's a really, I don't really enjoy listening to my own stuff very much, but I really, really enjoyed listening to that second episode. I didn't really listen to the first episode, but the second one I was like, damn, I need to figure out how to market this shit.
Yeah.
Yes. You do?
Yeah, because I wasn't aware of the second episode.
No, me neither.
Even the first one was Nathan was like, "Yo," he put up the first episode. I was like, "Hype."
Yeah.
Well, didn't you just post about it being up now, like yesterday?
Yeah, I posted it like last night at like 1 a.m.
I should
Yeah.
also.
Prime time.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I definitely got to get that.
I'm not even
figured
sure
out,
if we're
too.
friends on Facebook, so I'll check that first.
Yeah, true. I went to I made that status today and I clicked off share with all friends except for every single family member. Good. Except every single family member I had on Facebook. Because halfway through that second podcast, we're like, yeah, smoke break, smoke a joint. We smoked a fucking fat joint. So my grandma, I know my brother's going to be a cocksucker. And he's going to be like, hey, Evan put up a podcast. Go listen to it. Mother? It'll be halfway through and she'll be like, what did I just say? I'm going to be exposed, but I'm ready for that.
Yeah.
I
Do a
guess.
podcast when she comes to talk to you about it.
No, I want to.
Can you imagine?
I was thinking about me and my mother have such good conversations.
I feel you.
I'd really, really enjoy it, but I don't think it'd be the same dynamic as talking on the phone. I'd have to secretly record it.
That's sus.
Yeah, no, it is
Here's
really
this
sus.
microphone in your face. I'm not trying to record anything.
Yeah, no, literally though. But we always have really good conversations, just because she's going through a renaissance, as I like to call it. She's coming through a different time in her life. and,
Menopause?
Just like my mom.
I don't know. Yeah, what's your mom saying nowadays?
I don't know. Her kids are gone. Well, I'm gone. My sister's
Probably
gone.
happy that you're gone.
Yeah,
Oh,
God bless
probably.
this
Who-
fucking kid
Who
out of my
wouldn't,
house.
dude? But it's she's
Only,
at that
a
point
couple
where
more
she
days
doesn't
for
really
me.
have to be looking after her kids all the time anymore. She's like, so what else is there to my life right now?
No, it's literally you're starting your second life at that point. It's you got to figure it out.
Or a third life, because there's your life before your kids, there's your life when you have kids, and there's the life after your kids leave.
Yeah, I guess so.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah, no, it makes sense. It's definitely a time of figuring shit out.
It's weird to think about your parents before they were your parents. And it's
So
like,
weird.
The first
They
time
did
I ever
some
thought
dumb
about
fucking
that,
shit.
yeah,
Hence why I'm here. But
my mom said,
No, you were deliberate, dude. You were in a test tube. weren't
they
you?
knew
True.
what they were doing.
Yeah, they knew. You were planned as fuck. You couldn't even say you were an accident because you're
Yeah.
you motherfuckers planned me. 100% planned me.
I wasn't actually test tube baby, just for the record.
Oh.
I was shitting you
What
this whole
the
time.
hell, man?
What? You thought I was serious?
That was such a good story, dude.
Damn it. Shouldn't have ruined it. Nah.
like-
I thought you were just playing along with my bit.
No, dude, I thought you were actually a test tube baby. Fuck, that makes it way
Maybe I
less
am a little
interesting.
too monotone.
John knows about monotone, doesn't
John.
he?
John feels.
John is the monotone.
If
No,
there's
dude-
a tone to be the monotone, it'd be John.
Yeah, every time you have a monotone, you put John as the reference.
Frick. John is
Don't
so
look at me
happy
like
about
that.
this conversation.
You can't record him in stereo.
Oh, that was actually funny. That was actually
Good
clever.
one. That was a music
Do you have
industry
a
arts.
can opener page on Facebook?
Yeah,
You do?
yeah,
Okay.
Maybe you should promote that.
Yes.
yeah. Well, what the I can't like.
There's a plane. There is a plane.
It's atmosphere.
We're next to an airport. Do you have a Twitter?
No.
You should get a Twitter.
Actually, yeah, I do.
or a can
I
opener
don't know.
Twitter.
I find starting stuff up though, it's like social media is already so overwhelming. Like it's good to focus on one. You know,
Yeah,
like,
That's
you
what I'm
sh-
saying.
You should get it before somebody else gets it.
well, yeah, definitely.
I have it.
Get
Okay,
it
okay.
and sit on it, but just like, yeah, just like see if you can build a following on one, so it's like there's a concentrated connection to the audience.
Exactly. That's what I plan. I can't just like it'd be like, go follow me on Twitter, go like me on Facebook, go follow me on SoundCloud,
Yeah.
go subscribe to my YouTube channel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Way too much work.
Excuse me.
But they're there. But I still need to figure out how to brand this motherfucker. I want to like make stickers or like posters and put them around Algonquin with something clever so motherfuckers like question what it is. You don't quite know what it is, so you have to go look up what it is. You know
That's a
what I'm
smart idea.
saying? Yeah. Not just gonna give it out. But I still don't know. I still need to like put some serious
Get
thought
those
into
like
it.
there's like the prank cans that shoot like shit out, but like the shit that shoots out is just as like the can opener podcast on it, and so then it's just like litter everywhere that has your name on it. And at very least, custodians will see it.
That'd be fucking genius.
They see it post on your YouTube. Stop leaving these around the college, please.
That'd be fucking genius.
Any publicity is good publicity.
Yeah. John, what's your plan after school? Don't talk in your hand, please.
Going to Toronto.
Right after?
Going to London.
So, well, are you going to work?
Not in London. I'm only there for like a month.
True. Only there for a month?
Probably.
So, do you already have a place?
No. Well, like I'm going to stay at my dad's.
Are you two
while I'm in
for-
London.
Are you two for sure moving in together?
Yeah.
Yeah.
True. How long are you going to be in Ingleside or Cornwall or
So we
whatever that
find a
fucking
place.
shitty
Not Cornwall. Fuck you.
Too
What a shitty ass
too
place.
long, whatever the answer.
Yeah, until we find a place.
Yeah.
I'm not worried. There's no pressure to move anymore.
Yeah, I guess not, eh?
It's
I
just like, when are we ready to start the next stage?
Well, now you have the luxury of like, if you're like questioning a place, you're like, nah, we'll wait up, and you can find like that like perfect one.
Yes, because we don't have to move in September anymore.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's not like a, okay, we got to get we got to find something, anything, and just take it. It's more like we have time now.
True.
Yeah.
But, you know, sometimes that pressure to find a place is...
Yeah.
Yeah.
How you
Like
find
we're
a
not
place.
gonna sit on our asses and not look.
Yeah, that's what I've been doing. I gotta get out in September. I still haven't found a place.
Oh yeah,
Yep.
the lease is up or whatever.
Yeah, but I have
fuck.
1 month because I'm gonna. No, I just Sam's sister's moving in, but I have 1 month with my buddy that I can move in with him. But still, that's not enough time. I'm
So
gonna be
get
pressured.
off your
I
ass.
know.
Yeah,
bro, that's what I'm
dude.
saying. I'm gonna be fucked. I'm gonna live on the street.
Shit.
Go to the mission.
Do some
And be a
busking.
homeless person.
Do some busking.
Will give you a new perspective on life.
It would be. Maybe I should just try it.
I have a friend who did.
Yeah, you told me
Yeah,
about
I
that.
did.
Eh?
He's kind of crazy, but he's a good guy.
It sounds like a crazy idea.
What? Go homeless?
Yeah.
I've known a
Just for
couple
the
people.
fuck of it.
I know people who've done it for like a charity thing. They'll do like a week as like they get like minimal supplies to start, and then they're just homeless for a week. But like all the stuff they like raise is like for charity, which is like
No, this guy didn't even do
you're
it for charity.
encroaching on markets where homeless people could be getting money. But,
That's
like,
true.
No, this guy just did it for the hell of it, and he didn't take anything with him. He just wanted to see how it would affect him.
yeah. I'd be like, I don't know, because I feel like I can play guitar. If I'd be homeless with my guitar, I make enough money to live. Like if you busk, you can make enough money to eat in each day you busk. So
Yeah,
it's like
100%.
as long as you're not in like fucking here in the winter. Like
Yeah,
if you go,
no.
you have to go somewhere where it's not winter ever.
I remember when I was really young, and I asked my dad. We were driving to like Ottawa, back to visit my grandparents, and I asked him if hobos migrated, because it only made sense.
It makes sense.
Like, how the fuck do you survive here?
True.
You'd have to have some seriously
skin.
thick skin. You'd have to go skin some dogs, and, like, make coats and shit.
You can't wear real fur. Bitch, shut up. I'm dying. Frick, dude. I don't know.
Have you guys seen What the Health on Netflix? Speaking of
What the
skinning,
Health?
yeah,
No.
no, you should go watch it.
What's it about?
It's about the farming of animals, the
Okay.
factory farming of animals.
Yeah, that's fucked.
Pretty interesting, yo.
That's just evolution, man.
Is it?
We just got smart. Other animals didn't. Fuck them. Right? Like, I don't know. I don't necessarily like. That's not. I don't want to weigh too heavily on the topic of ethics, but it's like sometimes it just be like a do. Like,
I mean, you could do it better. We could definitely do it better.
but we couldn't sustain. Well, we could. Yeah, we could do factory animals better, but like people want to get like go to all like if you don't kill it, you shouldn't eat it. Like. We
No, I don't
can't
believe in that.
sustain without like the factory.
yeah.
Shit,
I'm just
so.
saying, I agree. We shouldn't get rid of it, but we should do it better. Less cruel.
Like, I
more
understand
humane.
hunting, you know what I mean? You gotta hunt to survive.
Yeah.
Motherfucking animals will hunt you, so we gotta hunt them. But, like,
Yeah. Top of the food chain.
that's what I'm saying. But
It's a weird one.
These cows that are sentient beings, like, they are conscious.
Yeah.
Who are you to say that they're not conscious?
They're not self-aware though.
How do you know?
Je ne sais pas. I don't know.
See,
hard-
it's
well-
like...
I don't like. I know there's been like articles about like some parrots being like the first animals to be like self-aware, like to refer to the self, but like or like be aware of the self. But like it's hard to weigh, I guess. But yeah,
See-
I think you can study the brain because with humans, like I think it's the prefrontal lobe or whatever.
But do we
like-
know anything about the brain?
The weirdest thing is the brain. When we study the brain, it's the brain studying itself.
Whoa.
True.
Bro, Inception.
True. Brainception, baby.
But yeah, on the whole like animals thing, it's like I don't know, man.
I think
Like-
it's fine.
It's
I think it's okay.
I think it's fine. I don't feel guilty.
I
But
You
like,
don't? But would you if
I mean,
you saw those farms?
if I
Well,
went to a
If you
farm,
were part
I
of those
would.
factories?
I am aware that they exist, and I'm aware of what they do and how they do it, and I still eat meat. I wish it was better.
Yeah, but are you consciously reflecting on that idea when you go get a fucking McDouble? Probably not. You
Well,
don't.
I mean, sometimes it's like I'm eating a dead animal, and I'm okay.
yeah.
Some people, like my sister, if you bring up that topic while she's eating meat, you can't tell me that. Stop! Oh, I'm just like, but you are
Yeah.
eating a dead animal.
Okay, yeah,
Right?
I get it. Like, there's a dead animal. That's fine. but the way they die
Yes, it sucks.
and the way they live.
Yeah, it sucks.
But I don't think you're consciously thinking about that when you go get a McDouble. Like, yeah, you may be conscious of it when you get reminded of it, but it's not like you go into the McDouble and you're like the flashbacks of that
Yeah.
animal eating its own shit for its entire life, living in its little
I don't think
pen.
it's that bad.
I think it is, dude.
I mean, I've seen some stuff. Yeah, it's not. Some of them aren't that bad, but
but not. If you
it's
go
nowhere near as
if
good
you
as
go
like
to-
free range.
No, exactly. If you go to Loblaws and you go get free range grain fed chicken, it says grain fed on the
Yeah.
fucking label. That's when you know shit's fucked up, when it has to say that it's grain fed.
Yes, because they feed animals all sorts of shit and chemicals that gets into your body after you eat the meat.
Yeah, literally. And they antibiotics to make them bigger, and they eat their own shit. They literally eat their own shit. If you think about it, if they're eating that, that's what their body is consumed of.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's very interesting. It's like you go watch What the Health. It's made me more conscious about it. Only because, to be honest, it hasn't really been like the whole, like, oh, we fucking torture them basically, but it's just the health issues that comes with eating red meat.
I honestly, like, ethics aside, it's like I cut back red meat just because it's like I'm getting too old, can't handle it. Like, I used to-
22 years old,
Like, if I ate red meat like 6 meals a week, I would like be sick by the end of the week. Like,
You'd feel it.
yeah.
Diabetes.
Oh, diabetes.
Diabetes. Good old diabetes.
That's inevitable for me, so it's fine.
Same here.
But dudes, there's a common, I guess, myth would be that it comes from too much sugar.
Yeah.
But what diabetes actually comes from is eating red meat. And that meat, that fat in that meat coats your cells. Therefore, the mitochondria can't properly take in the sugar that it needs. So that's when you need to start taking insulin,
Interesting.
because it can't filter through how much sugar that mitochondria
I
needs.
have pretty much cut out red meat almost
Yeah.
fully.
It's
chicken is so
expensive too.
I eat lots of chicken now. Or some of my meals I'm not eating meat at all.
Have you seen the new Canada Food Guide?
No.
Nope.
Okay, so
Looking at it when we were growing up, it was bullshit. Like, when I think about it, it's like, how much do you expect me to eat in a day? Like 3 to 4 servings of vegetables, like 5 grain. Like, I barely eat like 2 servings of anything in a day. Like,
Yeah, literally.
That's because
Guys.
you're weak, bro.
Hey, you're
Well,
weak,
I think
dude.
they don't. I don't
Lord
think
guy.
it fully goes into like depending on your height, your weight, and all
Yeah.
that stuff. It's
And
more
everything's
just an
different.
average, or I don't know exactly. But
Everybody's different.
just know your
too, right?
body.
No, exactly. But the new Canada Food Pyramid Guide is, where the proteins used to be. There's no more dairy. You popped that right out of there.
Every
at your
single podcast, somebody does it.
It's cheap, dude. It's cheap.
It just wasn't screwed in.
Yeah, no, but I wouldn't even screw it in. You know what I'm saying? So you can actually move it.
you guys are slipping.
You're slipping.
There's-
Okay, so this
got my
Canada
man.
Food Pyramid Guide, where it used to say dairy, like it told you to eat meat and dairy, that is now replaced with nuts.
That's nuts.
Yeah, that is nuts. Other
Nuck and
proteins.
butts.
Paleo diet.
No, exactly. It says get your proteins from nuts and I don't know what else.
Why does it say
Seeds.
Flax,
Well, that is
flax seeds
that
are
is
so
an
protein
actual
heavy.
good place to get protein, but
Yeah.
Because meat is not that good for you.
that? I find that hard to believe, man.
Why?
Because we've been eating meat as a species since like our inception. The meat of today is a lot worse, probably.
that's probably what
You know
they're
what I'm saying?
taking into account.
But
though.
we didn't eat fucking McDoubles every day like motherfuckers
Yeah,
do.
no,
That's not what they're telling you to eat on the
definitely-
food guide,
I
though,
think
right?
that
No, that's true, but he's saying we ate meat since our inception. You
Yeah.
would like kill a caribou for your entire family and that would last like a year.
Well, not that long.
I think
Yeah,
the-
100%. A full moose could last you forever. It'd go
As
through
long as you preserved
seasons.
it.
Exactly. It could go through seasons. We're eating like full T-bone steaks.
No, you're right about that. You're right.
It's like the serving size is way bigger. And we're eating way more than we used to.
I think the food guide's also taking into fact the type of meat we eat now, like how processed and like
that was my point.
yeah.
Yeah, meat is good for you, but I feel like a lot of people there's a misconception like.
But it's
for
like
a lot of people, it's the
everything.
main like the portion is weird.
Exactly.
Like
Yeah, like
when the steak is the biggest thing on your plate, that's wrong.
Yeah.
it's just about moderation and everything.
Yeah.
I'm so
Yeah.
happy though. All the meals I love are all like chicken and stuff, like butter chicken, curry,
McNuggets.
McNuggets,
So healthy.
Pink
chicken.
slime.
I
So
actually
healthy.
love chicken burgers way more than like beef burgers.
Yeah. The chicken strips from the calf.
Yeah, me too.
And yeah,
But
chicken
even
strips. I eat.
Popeyes.
Even chicken though.
It's not like I know like places like Popeyes.
Live up.
Now in Canada.
Frying chicken is obviously not going to make it healthy.
It's
Yeah.
so healthy.
What makes
John.
us so
Yeah,
good?
what are you saying, John?
I love
Should
my
try to
arteries
eat
being
that
clogged.
every day. Just see what happens.
Have you guys ever seen shit? What's that movie called? Super Size Me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You've seen that? Have you seen that, Derek?
We watched it in
I
school.
saw a response documentary, but I never actually saw the original.
Did you see Super High Me?
No.
Yeah.
It was a guy who did the same challenge as Super Size Me, but like he did it properly.
Oh, really?
Like I don't know what the results of Super Size Me were, but like the guy like did the like fast food diet and like actually counted calories and like nutrition, and like obviously it wasn't healthy, but like he went to his doctor before and after, and like there wasn't he was able to meet his weight loss goals.
True, because this motherfucker in Super Size Me was just going up and like
He
if-
was doing the Super Size Me.
No,
thing.
exactly. If they asked if he wanted to supersize, he was going
Well,
in.
he was trying to make a statement, though.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like, he wasn't actually trying to figure out.
But I just like people are dumb, you know. They don't see that documentary and like see like the social in like subtleties behind it, like the whole like pushing bigger. It's like they just see McDonald's makes you fat. That's all they saw.
That's
right?
true. Yeah.
People are.
Why do we say that, though?
What?
What
Most people are dumb.
Because
Most
it's
people
true.
don't. But what makes us not dumb?
Well,
Why do we
are,
get to say
but-
that? You know what I mean?
He's turning
That's-
into me now.
That's a good question. Why do we get to say that? Because people don't think
But that's a
things
blanket
fully
statement,
through.
right?
Yes. Doesn't
Okay.
mean it's not true.
No.
Well-
Isn't that a blanket statement saying that all blanket statements aren't true?
I never said that it wasn't true. I just said that you were making like an
yeah.
observation. That you
Isn't
were making-
everything in life observation though?
Yeah. There's nothing that's objective.
Problem is,
See, I don't think that the thing is most people are dumb. I think it's the dumb people are generally the ones most seen.
that's what I was gonna say. They're the dumbest
Because
people
I
are the
know a
loudest.
lot of smart, like really smart people, even around me, and I know we generally on the internet where people see most of their stuff, it's like you see those dumb people, and that's what gets the most attention, like stuff like World Star. I don't know other ones, but those stuff.
Well, I literally just watched the Joe Rogan and Neil deGrasse Tyson podcast like yesterday and today.
Yeah.
And Neil deGrasse Tyson said that he doesn't debate with people because if it gets down to a debate, it's the person who can sway somebody more, not necessarily about the facts. And he's like, if I have to debate with someone, it's done. 5 minutes. If I can't convince him, that's it. I'm done.
Yeah.
Because he doesn't have the patience to deal with someone who doesn't
Is
want
it
to
having
actually.
the patience or just understanding what battles to fight?
Well, he said like he doesn't have the energy to do it. He didn't say anything about knowing the battles to fight, but that's a good point. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, if it's over something dumb like McDonald's makes you fat, like that's waste
Well,
my
he
time.
was more
But if
talking
it's
about
like,
conspiracy theories and shit.
and
the
like
Earth
that
is
too.
flat.
That's
What
like,
are you
that's
not
not
worried
worth.
about?
That's what the thing was, because I remember I saw that same podcast and they were talking about that whole flat Earth thing, and
Yeah.
that's where he got into the thing.
See, I totally agree because what are you gonna?
What, that Earth's flat?
Yeah,
Well, you're right. If someone
you can't. We're
someone-
walking on it straight. Of course, it's
And like
flat.
the moon and the sky is flat.
It's a projector.
And there's
Yo,
an
the
eclipse.
moon landing was a hoax, boy.
God just
How can
has
we
a
eclipse it if we're not
projector.
flat too?
God
Yeah,
just has a
exactly.
projector up in heaven.
That's what I'm saying, dude.
Oh my god. Oh,
I need to leave.
that's a new one. That's a new one.
Reevaluate my life.
I thought I'd heard a lot of religious things in my life, but that's a little crazy.
Oh, it's really crazy. Imagine believing in God and that the Earth was flat. Is that something that happens?
Probably.
Probably.
That's like, ooh, that's too much.
It's just
That's
a
really
little
like
too much.
interesting. Thing. Why can't you believe in God and believe in science?
Well, I
Can't-
do.
Again,
I think I do.
Neil
We
deGrasse-
had this
going back
conversation
to that
before.
God
Neil
is a
deGrasse
scientist.
Tyson
Dude.
podcast, he said a lot of the
That's
science.
what I believe.
He
I believe that
said-
God's the best scientist that ever existed.
I know Neil deGrasse Tyson's talked about it a lot. We'll go back to him because smart dude and I love him. He talked about a lot of scientists he know do believe in God and they pray, but they keep God, like religion and science, separate.
But see, you just associated God with religion.
No, I said God or like believing in God or religion is what I meant. If I did not say that, that's what I
Yeah.
meant.
See, I can't believe in religion because it's a book
Yeah.
that's been
Because it's an organization.
translated upon translated through people. Like
Yeah,
a
we
group of
talked
people
about this
that
before
did
on the
it.
podcast.
You
Yeah,
can
we
be
did.
for me. You can be religious without there being like a group around it. Like I can be religious in my own way, but it's like people don't. Again,
But what does
like I
that
said,
mean?
Because they want
Well,
validation.
I can have my own beliefs and like there'll be religious tones to it, but like I don't feel the need to practice with other people or like have it written down. Like
Yeah, that's me.
yeah, I don't.
So what do you
but, like-
mean religious tones?
Like I guess religion is all about searching for meaning for most people. So like I can believe that the sun is my god and I don't have to talk about it, and it's just like that's where my like prayers and thoughts go. But
Isn't that the basis of most religions, that the sun is the god?
depends how primitive. But
Some of them.
No, I watched this video a while ago, like debunking religion. Some fucking YouTube
Yeah.
crazy motherfucker, and he says
Was it
all religions are based on the sun.
it makes sense.
You go look at. I wish I could like fucking articulate what
Oh,
this
excuse
video
me.
is about. Jesus Christ.
I'm sorry.
Speaking of religion, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. God damn.
Jesus Christ.
But
Was
he
Middle
said
Eastern.
that all religions are based, like even Jesus is the son. He came up at whatever, and like I don't know,
He is the son of God.
Oh,
It makes sense because like the sun is, you know, the only reason we are alive, arguably. Well, one of the few. But
Is
like,
it though?
if the sun was gone,
Well, yeah. Oh, true. Yeah. Sorry. Something Neil deGrasse said today on the podcast.
But what
that
if- what if-
life's a simulation?
What
No.
if the moon was gone?
Then the world would be fucked.
Exactly, we would be gone too. I think because the tides wouldn't be able to create that ecosystem that's there in
But
the ocean.
if the moon was never there,
well,
we might have been
Cool.
able to still.
No, but without the circulation of bringing the rubble to the beach,
True.
and then coming back and bringing the tides back, and that's where life
It'd
started.
be a very different. Well, I guess, yeah, true, yeah.
That's where life started. We are all fish at one point. So the evolutionary theory says that we.
I think life would still be around. It would just be very different.
You think so?
Because
Yes.
life.
Life doesn't need sun.
I don't.
But it
Life
needs
just
a
needs
cycle.
energy.
No,
it
I
needs a
know-
cycle.
No,
which-
I was talking moon. We need
Yes.
life needs like energy, and the sun is the like best
I-
source of natural
I
energy.
do not think we could survive with. If the sun was gone, I don't think we could survive. If the moon was gone, I don't think we could survive. And obviously, if neither were there, I don't think we could
If
survive.
the
No,
moon, if
probably
the moon
not.
never existed, would life exist though?
Probably.
See, I don't think so.
Think so. Yeah.
I don't think so because it's a cycle. There's a recycle that happens with the tides.
Yeah.
Dead shit gets brought up and life begins, and dead shit gets brought up. Like kelp comes across the oceans.
Yeah.
Without that, it'd just be disgusting down there. It'd be like a big pile of waste.
So like life would have started and died off immediately. Kind
I
of
don't
deal.
even know if it would have started because life
There's
started
no,
apparently
like-
from these microorganisms coming from like the super hot volcanoes below
Yes,
the
that's
ocean.
the energy source that started life.
No, exactly. But what if there was no cycle of the tides? There was no
Do you think that
bringing.
Well, there's also theories that it came from asteroids,
yeah, that's something that
Yeah, if
Which
which
are
are
talked
just
about
frozen
in that
ice. So it's like Walt Disney on a comet. Oh
But-
yeah, no asteroids, comets.
But
because
if it
they're
was frozen ice, wouldn't the ice have melted on the way into the atmosphere? Because everything burns
it's
up.
like, well, the early Earth's atmosphere was very thin, right? So
True.
like it was bombarded and stuff. But I don't know.
I guess we'll never
we're not
know.
really the most qualified
yeah.
speakers on this. But
I guess we'll never know.
we started on the why of life and got into how.
Yeah, literally.
we are not qualified.
But do you guys believe in aliens?
Yeah, I definitely.
Maybe.
Well, like,
I think
Hey,
it's
hey, ever?
okay.
Do you believe in aliens, John?
You
Yes,
opened a can.
because
Yes.
I don't think we can be the only ones alive in the universe. I personally just don't think that we've come into contact with aliens, but I definitely believe they're out there because I don't see why we'd be the one and only planet in the universe to have life.
Derek, do you believe in aliens?
I believe in extraterrestrial life, but like I think it's vain not to, right? To think that we're the only ones. But
I think it'd be a little ignorant.
yeah. Like I believe that life is like scattered everywhere throughout the universe. But like sentient intelligent life is rare and like it probably has come and gone, but like the universe existed for 13.8 or like 14 billion years. So it's like people are like, "Oh, why haven't we seen other intelligent life?" It's like, well, in the span of the universe, it like life just pitters out so quickly. There's probably been other intelligent life, just not overlapping. The odds of it overlapping with our time in the universe isn't realistic. So
That's
it's
very
like,
true. And
which people don't
it's
think
true.
about the time scale. They think just like the universe scale, and they're like, okay, it's got to be out there, but it's like there's also the dimension of time you got to think about.
and just
Them
the
4 dimensions, man.
Yeah.
and just the vastness of fucking space. It's like,
yeah,
how do you expect life if it takes billions of light years for even us to see the light of a star
Yeah.
in the sky? How do we expect that motherfucker to even come close
We
to
can't
the
get to our
Earth?
moon.
No, exactly. And it's like, how? I think that's rare. Okay, Nathan, what, do you
We're
believe in
Joe.
that?
Just keep eating.
Yeah, you're right. Okay, fucking Nathan fucked up. Nathan,
again,
do you believe in aliens?
maybe
Why do you always cop out with these maybe answers?
Well,
Give us a fucking straight
my
yes or no, motherfucker.
perspective is different from you guys.
Okay, well, say it.
Because I see it
On
more
everything
from-
or aliens specifically?
He's a pretty fucked
Just
up
like
dude.
in general or
Well, for me, it's like I'm coming at it. I was raised religious, right? And Christianity and religions don't want you to think about aliens. Okay.
So you're saying you're brainwashed and you're aware of the brainwash, but you're still brainwashed.
strength? of
Well,
belief.
no. The thing is, for me, I believe in God, and to me, God is someone who creates all the time.
So you
Do you
think
understand?
God,
Hang on a sec.
I'm asking you a
Does he
question.
use logic?
I'm asking a question. Is God a someone?
Maybe.
Okay, well you can't say God is a someone.
Well, I
goes
can't.
nowhere.
I can't also claim what.
Well, yeah, you can. It's your opinion,
what
bro.
you believe.
yeah, and my opinion is that I'm not sure.
Well, that's boring as fuck.
Well, fuck you. I'm not here to cause controversy. I'm here to state what I actually think.
Okay.
And I think that if God created.
What is God? You need to specify what God is, though, before you
Let me
have-
finish this thought.
Okay.
Okay? If God created everything, why would he stop at humans? Why would he just create humans like, I'm done. Goodbye.
He got bored.
I don't think so.
So do
Like,
you not believe in evolution?
I do.
He saw how fucked up we were. He's like, I'm not going to fuck up again.
Well, there's some Pro Tools sessions or like Logic sessions that I don't open Logic, but like for your case, that's like I was fucking around, discarded after, or not discarded, but just thrown in the back burner, right? It's just save file on the computer. We're just an
Dinosaurs,
old
bro.
save file on God's computer.
That's an interesting thought.
Like we're just like a little like I'm new to the software. I'm gonna fuck around. Oh, dinosaurs? Nah. And this
well,
human
that's
thing.
what I think. I honestly think that God, if God made us in his
I don't
image.
believe that for the record.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine. But
Okay,
if God
get to
made
a
us in
full
his
thought
image, wouldn't that mean that God is a lot like us?
Okay.
Do you think that he grows and learns things? Like, you know what? I made these dinosaurs, but I didn't like them because they're not what I wanted.
Okay, you need to. There's gonna be a shit ton of questions. I'm gonna dissect the shit of this.
Okay.
You're saying
We've
that,
gone on a tangent.
wait.
We
So
should
you're
have different sound effects for tangent. Oh, we just
you're right.
opened
We
a
should
can.
have. That'd be
We're
pretty sweet.
turning into Wayne's
Okay.
World.
Yeah.
Everyone, shut up.
I'll push my mic away. I'll sit back and enjoy.
Nathan. So God created dinosaurs. Elaborate.
What?
That is saying, and that is me assuming you saying that is you don't believe in evolution.
I do.
Okay, so how did God create dinosaurs?
Well, it has to come from somewhere.
Okay, so what do you mean he created, like he's a kid in the sandbox and
I
he
don't
just
know.
threw a dinosaur in there?
I
What if he?
God created evolution.
Well, that's. I think honestly that one day
one-
science will prove God exists, not the opposite. Is what I think. Because I think God's the greatest scientist that ever existed.
Okay, you're avoiding the question. So I agree. I don't agree. I don't know if. Let me get this straight. The only thing that I have a problem with your logic is, first of all, you said God is someone.
Okay.
So is God man?
I don't know.
Can I like kind of give an opposite-ish sort of to what
Okay,
he says?
shoot, John, shoot.
So, again, I also believe in God. Personally, I've talked on the other podcast where I think God's more not a person, but like sort of spirit type thing where it's like everywhere. And I think God created like the universe, but to me, I don't think he kept going. I think he kind of just let it like he's an overseer pretty much and kind of let it do its thing, which comes in evolution where
Yeah.
he
okay,
created he created whatever it is.
I think that's what Nathan.
And
Yeah.
then-
Well, that's what I was trying to say.
Okay.
Yeah, I
and
agree
then
with
he
you.
kind of let whatever the first like I guess I'll call it creature or like kind of cell type thing started
Life.
that he created that and let it go on to become what it is now, which is like, humans,
I like-
gorillas, all that
Jesus
stuff.
Christ.
My like idea is like similar, but it's like God is a computer programmer. So he created like the laws and the
Yo,
like,
can you grab me my one?
like not like the
last
laws of like government, but like
Laws of physics.
like
type
yeah,
thing.
laws of physics, like gravity, butter on the floor, relevant gravity. He dropped butter, by the way. Yeah, like he programmed all the rules and the code of the universe, and then he threw some life in there and like saw how it went.
Okay.
Yeah, because
Okay,
a scientist
I have-
conducts an experiment and sees what happens.
Bro, I
Well,
was
like,
so...
He didn't create dinosaurs. He created the path towards dinosaurs. Right? He's like, oh, this happened? Cool.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say.
See, I
don't believe in that, though.
So...
But I
Just
appreciate
playing
you,
devil
Derek.
out.
I appreciate
Did
you.
you say
Derek.
Jared?
From
Appreciate
Subway.
you, Derek.
Oh,
Jared from Sub. Oh no.
Okay, that's fine. Okay. I have so many things.
Get it out.
I
Adam.
have so many
Get
things.
it out.
Okay, so my rebuttal is God.
But
Do you think that God consciously created this? It was a conscious thought?
this podcast
Create what?
Whatever you said he created.
Do you? I think it was a conscious thought to create stuff
Why?
because what else was he gonna do?
He's just bored as fuck. sitting
Chill
on
on his own.
He's like
He's
just
just
a bored
like,
teenager
I'm
jerking
done,
off.
Yeah, I'm done jerking off for the day, so I might as well.
No, you guys have to understand that my perspective is filtered or colored by my upbringing.
Okay, but you can't say that when you're aware of your brainwash. You know what I mean? You can't. Like,
I was
that's
not
a-
brainwashed. I was given an avenue, and I said, I don't 100% agree with all of this, and then I just
Okay, so I think God is not someone. God
Okay.
is not this great being. God did not create shit. But God is that thing in your head that you talk to. God is consciousness. anything that is not conscious does not have God in it.
That is interesting.
That's my belief. It's God is consciousness, and he's not someone. That's why he didn't create shit. The shit happened randomly, but God lives within consciousness. God was not here. God did not create the universe. God was not here. He is a part of the creation. He is not the creator.
That's why I'm okay with factory slaughtering. Because there's no God in animals.
There's no God in. I believe there's God in animals.
Consciousness?
There's consciousness to eat food and grow and evolve and mate.
But the difference is a human will be like, I'm hungry. I want to eat food. What should I eat? Cow is like.
But that's only because we live here. If you were living 1,000 years ago, you'd be like, I'm eating whatever the fuck I can eat.
But like a cow doesn't think about eating; they just eat, right?
My
the
question
brain
would be,
doesn't have thoughts.
How do you know?
They're like when you study the like human brain versus like other animal brains, like that doesn't fire the same way.
But
like,
we don't understand the brain
fully.
though.
But like
We don't understand it.
we don't fully understand for sure. But current findings that, as far as we can tell, is that they don't have the like.
I've never seen any finding. I don't know if any scientist would even say that. I don't
I'm
know.
pretty sure I studied this in like.
I don't know if
grade 11
they'd
or something.
say they would not have consciousness. I don't
I
know
took
if
us
that-
off the main road here, like the consciousness.
Now we're
and
talking
God.
about just what we believe, not about facts, though.
There
that we
are
know.
no facts with that. No
Well,
one
have you
fucking
researched
knows.
this?
No one fucking knows.
No. Have you
like,
researched
I'm
this?
talking about my experience from what I learned in school
Yeah.
about like how the best invention was fire because we could cook our food. That gave us enough energy to run a bigger brain, and then we became better hunters because we don't see the moose and kill it. We see the moose, we watch it, we track it, we find more moose by watching that moose, right? Versus a coyote who sees the moose and is like, I'm hungry, eat moose.
But I think coyotes are smarter than that.
They are. But
I would argue that no one knows how. Once we figure out how the brain works, which I don't know we'll ever figure out.
it's too meta.
Nah, it's a thing. It's like beyond. Like we want to think about how big the universe is, and we want to understand how big the
Yeah.
universe is, but it's like beyond us at that point.
Yeah.
I would like to think about that, and I do think they think. If we were, I believe they have consciousness. They may not be able to communicate it the same way. They may not have the same emotional responses as we do. If you saw
Excuse me.
your daughter or your mother getting slaughtered by some fucking farmer, they may
Sure.
not have the same emotional responses.
Well,
but I believe they are conscious of the
I-
fact that's happening.
To go on your thing, I've seen things about, I think it was like elephants where they actually
True.
buried their like
A lot of animals do that.
others.
A lot of animals do that. 100%.
I remember seeing. So I'm kind of more on your side. I don't know enough about the topic
It's not
to
even my
really
side,
get
but
in.
I just believe
agree
we don't know.
similar.
I can't. I could say we don't
But-
know the emotional response that happens.
I don't know enough about this, but just kind of off of what I've seen and believe, I'm more on the fence of they have a consciousness. But I don't know enough to really pick a side.
How
fully.
could they be self-aware if they don't know what a mirror is? The only way you're self-aware is you have a mirror, right? Like,
Yeah.
if there was no mirror, you would, who are you? Or no camera, no nothing. It's like, that's, but cats look at themselves in the mirror and they can tell that that's them.
Yes, but like
Some cats get scared in the mirror though.
Yeah.
And then but
they can see reflection, but it's like the I or the me centric thought
yeah.
doesn't. I don't know.
But is that really the catalyst difference of cruelty?
The
Well,
cat.
I'm not saying necessarily that. I was just trying to be funny by bringing it back to the God and consciousness, and then
Yeah, no, I
slaughterhouse.
get it. But like, if you have self-awareness, is that the line that you cross?
Well, there's a lot of people who are vegetarian but eat fish because fish have a lower like brain capacity and feel less and are less like
Yeah.
I
Cerebral.
wouldn't call them vegetarians personally.
Yeah, but they're like
Yeah, I wouldn't either.
they're against like cruelty, but they're fine with fish because they have less going on. So like apparently a
I
lot of
don't
people, even
think
vegetarians,
people can call themselves vegetarians if they eat any kind of meat.
yeah.
No, I
Okay,
agree
so
with you.
so cut this and go back to your computer programming thing.
Oh fuck.
Okay, and I also believe I believe God is your consciousness. God is who is talking to you when it's not you. Like when you ever
Yeah.
have that thing in your head when you're like, okay, you make this decision or this decision. Which decision do you make? That is God. That's that voice in your head
Breaking
telling
the
you.
fourth wall.
No, exactly. That's your voice in your head telling you God is not a thing. God did not create shit. He is just a part of consciousness, and God is what's going to take us to that next level. Beyond that, He didn't create shit though. I don't believe that. He's not the creator. There's no one watching over us. It's you. You're watching over yourself. Like, God is within yourself.
Yeah.
And then go back to your fucking computer programming. I think we're in a simulation. Straight up.
There's been a few times like did I show you?
No,
Hey, why'd you laugh? Hey, let's hear your thought on that.
I have no thought. It's bullshit.
Why?
Because it is.
Okay, that's
Do
not
you
a
have
solid
proof
argument.
that we're in a
That, yeah,
simulation?
that's poor argument strategy.
there's no proof for
Well, where's your
anything, bro.
proof for that? Where's your proof against? Where's my proof against it?
I believe
Yeah,
we're
I know.
in a
That's what I'm
simulation.
saying.
There's no.
It's the same thing as religion, then.
I'm not disclaiming it. I'm
Okay.
saying that's not my belief. I'm saying my belief is we're in a simulation. Where's
Why
your
do you believe that?
Because right now, in this day and age, me and John can be in separate parts of the world and we can play Call of Duty, which is a lifelike simulation.
Do you want to do that, by the way?
We could.
All right.
I just got fucking Xbox Live taken off my credit card the other day. I was pissed. I
I'm
was
a
like, what the fuck
PlayStation
is
dude,
it?
so maybe
Okay,
we
well,
can.
you
we
just
can't.
do it in the same room too. So.
Okay, but we can play life-like, picture-like simulations with millions of people around the world. That is going to be a thing. We are soon going to be able to have virtual reality simulations that are going to look exactly like this universe. It's going to be the exact same thing. I believe this world, it either works in binary computer code, which is either 1 or a 0, or quantum computing, which we're getting into, which is
It's fucked.
well, exactly. But that's where it comes into the unlimited dimensions. There's a different dimension for every single. If Nathan didn't take his shoes off when he got home from wherever, there's another dimension that is playing that exact role, that exact movie or whatever, that exact simulation that we're living. It's just a different. I think that's the most plausible thing.
I personally don't believe that, but I see your opinion as very plausible.
I can.
That-
I had the thoughts on it
Actually.
too because, like, for the way I look at it is like, science is basically reverse engineering a simulation, right?
Exactly.
Because arguably, we'll get to the point where we're so smart that we can have an equation to define everything that happens. Like, we have an equation why that flickers and moves that way. Like, physics is all about reverse engineering real life. So that's just, if we can break it down to math, that's just computer code, which it's like, it's just a bunch of laws and rules, if statements and or statements, like,
And when
You
you
know?
said God is the greatest scientist, and it's like
he's a computer scientist.
He's fucking sitting there, this fucking like.
I find
like
it
you said,
hard to
16-year-old.
fathom, but it's like,
It is hard to fathom, but you said God is the greatest scientist. I don't think God is the greatest scientist. Science created God.
How?
Excuse me. Because
Your
science is the religion of the universe.
Scientology?
Not quite.
Close, but no cigar.
Yeah, but I think science is the new religion. As we evolve, science is the new religion. As we evolve, we are going to be the caterpillar to the butterfly that is technology. Technology is going to live beyond us. Science is going to live beyond us. And that is going to be what takes over the universe eventually.
AI?
anything. AI is just our brains work in chemical circuits, and artificial intelligence, electrical circuits work 1,600 times faster than chemical circuits. So if your brain makes the same connection, an AI can make that connection 1,600 times faster than you can,
And 16 million different times.
and 16
And,
million
like, do
different times.
things depending on the bandwidth. Like,
No,
you do a bunch at the
exactly.
same
And they
time.
don't have emotional responses, which obviously were key in our evolutionary process to growing up because, you know, we talked about before being like tribal. Like we are a tribal species, but that was only purely for our survival. And as science comes up, we're going to get rid of the emotions. The emotions are hurting us now. And as we get more as we become artificial intelligence, that is what's going to end our meat shields. We were going back to we don't believe in aliens. And it's like, or you believe in aliens, but it's like we don't think that they've come here, right?
Yeah, it's like we haven't overlapped on time, or it's just like there's not intelligent ones.
But if
happening
you were
right
not
now.
Derek, if you did not have skin and flesh that required water, that required food, if you were the metal, you could fucking fly out to space forever.
True.
You could live through that. So
Pretty
it's like,
boring, but yeah.
it would be boring.
I really, that's one topic I've wanted to get into more research is AI, because I think it's sick as fuck.
I would love to go to school for AI, like go to a
Like,
university.
I saw
program.
this thing on, I think it was Bill Nye's new show. He went,
Fuck that! Did you like that shit?
Oh, I was about
'Kay.
that. But me and Aaron watched it
I
really high. So.
I want to talk about this one where he looks at AI. I just thought this one thing he looked at was really cool. It's this AI that can recreate even the style and everything of different like painters. So like
Yeah.
you can look at, say, a Van Gogh painting, and you can get that AI to recreate that with like the breaststrokes. I'm going into swimming.
Freudian slip there.
No, I said
The
breaststroks like
Oh.
swimming.
Oh, I said
I
I
meant
still slip.
paint
I was thinking
stroke.
boobs.
I don't know why I did, but paint strokes and everything, like how they did it. Like it'll look at their painting
and you know
and
why?
recreate that.
I believe that's possible because you go look at a computer screen, you turn this on, it's seamless, right? But that's all pixels. We're looking at pixels right now. You
We're
are
just-
a pixel. It's all a 1 or a 0,
A
right?
molecule.
Exactly. It's all a 1 or a 0. It's either an H2O, which is water. That's either a 1 hydrogen or a 1. There's either a 1 or a 0. It's binary, and that's how computers work.
But yeah.
So that's why I think
It's funny, like if we got, because like humans can see on an order of magnitude out into space farther than we can into molecules. So like,
that's
we can see
interesting.
out 10 to the 18 to space, but we can only see like 10 to the 16 into molecules, and we're only discovering like the Higgs boson and like the God particle. Well, that is the God particle.
Yeah, what is it? Do you have any information on that?
On the Higgs
On the God particle?
not really. Like I just know, like it's the Large Hadron Collider where they discovered it smashing particles.
So did they discover it, or is that the theory that they will discover it once that test is correctly?
They've never like
Executed.
You can't really. I don't think they have the technology to see it, but they've detected it. So I'm not sure what that means. But like basically, they're getting, because like at first it was like, okay, now we have like hydrogen, oxygen, all these chemicals, protons, electrons, and then it's like, oh, we have molecules, which makes molecules are a step up above that. But then below, like the basic elements are like quarks and other weird words, and then like the God particle, and it's like they don't know how much smaller it goes, but it's like maybe.
Who knows?
Yeah.
I remember hearing about that and like talking about that with my friend when I was fucking. This guy was such a huge nerd. So was his dad. And
Fug.
yeah, we talked about it. And it was like there was a real scare that this Hadron Collider, which I don't know, does it collide two protons together?
It depends. What I think they can just do whatever, but generally it's like
They collide two very, very tiny particles together
yeah.
at very high speeds, and people were thinking that was going to blow up the world.
Well, some people theorize that it created mini black holes, and they heard mini black holes, and like, oh, it's gonna destroy the Earth.
Exactly. But if you think about it, it's like no one would think that splitting an atom would create a nuclear bomb. Like, think about what that created. Think about the destruction that splitting an atom,
Yeah.
splitting something smaller than that, splitting another source of energy. Boom.
Yeah.
Well, I bet they could figure a way to weaponize it. That's not what they're looking at the moment.
Yeah. A lot of scientists I know now are against weaponizing their science.
Well,
That's a smart
That's
idea.
nice.
Yeah, God bless,
That's good to
because
know.
they saw what happened when 400,000 motherfuckers, we were just joking about it. We're all going to hell.
Yeah.
Especially you, Nathan, because you believe it.
Okay.
Fug.
We're all going to hell, but they kill
If there is a
400,000
hell.
motherfucking people.
We're just going in God's recycle bin.
You know what's crazy, though? There's a new...
He's gonna empty the trash. Now he uses a Mac. It's a trash bin. It's way better for coding.
fucking...
Uh,
I need to get back into coding, honestly.
I thought
It's been a while.
you said codeine.
Yeah.
I thought John was like, I didn't get back into codeine. I used to sip scissor all the time, dude.
Fug.
Coding was really fun.
You know what's crazy, though? Black holes, that's still a theory. We don't know what a black hole is.
We don't understand black holes.
Black
How
hole,
can you?
every single picture we've seen of black hole is just an artist's depiction of what a black hole looks like.
Well, you can't see a black hole because light doesn't
light.
escape it.
Yeah, but they've never even gotten a picture of it. Even the picture of our galaxy, we've seen pictures of our galaxies, it's only an artist's depiction. We don't have a telescope fucking millions and millions and billions of light years outside of our...
It's true.
But there's this new telescope that's going in that's like, I don't know how much larger that... What's the current telescope?
It's Hubble.
Hubble telescope.
But yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
They're coming out with a new telescope. NASA's coming out with a new telescope. And by this year, they said they're going to have a picture of a black hole. Like a real life picture of a black hole.
They'll have a picture of where a black hole is.
No,
but-
exactly. They'll have a picture of the energy bending around the black
That's cool.
hole.
That
Which-
will be really cool.
It'll be interesting because that's the theory. That's only the theory. And they're like, I was watching a Vox video, and they're like, that's the theory. And if we find something else, then it's going to be even more
Yeah.
interesting.
Well, have you seen Interstellar?
Yep.
That black
that's
hole.
probably really high.
That black hole apparently is like they consulted a lot of science for that and brought in people, and it's like that's like the most accurate to what we believe is probably what's happening, because like it makes sense with the physics we know. But
Speaking of Vsauce, he did a really good video of fucking going into a black hole would be like.
damn,
Like the like it would be.
it'd be sucky.
It's beyond us though.
It's well, it's like the galaxy being or universe being infinite. It's like we can recognize it, but we can't really comprehend it. Like
No,
it doesn't
exactly.
compute. We don't have the CPU power in our brain to really.
How crazy is it though that we like think about that kind of shit though?
We think about things that we can't actually comprehend.
How
I
crazy
think it's
is that?
awesome.
It's unbelievable.
Is that God?
It might be, dude. It might be, and
Who
it's
knows?
like it's only started. It's only really recent. It's crazy to think about. I was thinking about when my parents were born. My mom was born like 1960s. It's like that is only 20 years removed from the largest genocide in human history.
Yeah.
Think about how crazy that wasn't even that long ago. That was less than 100 years ago.
Yep.
Think about how long ago that feels. It's like, whoa, that should be like way past us.
Well, yeah, to us it feels like a long time, but if you look at the just even the Earth itself, looking at what's happened, that's a very small period, but because we haven't been around that the whole life cycle of the Earth,
And
it
it's-
seems short to us.
And it's just the
Or
way
sorry, it seems a long time ago to us.
the
but-
amount we've progressed since then. Even the amount we've progressed in our lifetimes.
Yeah.
Like the internet wasn't around before we are.
Yeah, we were
True.
like we were still born in the dial-up generation.
Literally, did
Yeah,
we even
that-
have dial-up?
Yeah,
I did.
I had
yeah.
dial-up,
It
though. I
had
was like
dial-up.
the very beginning of my life, though. Like I still had a rotary
Fucking
phone and
youngin'.
everything.
I remember playing on my computer when I was probably like 6, and I'd play like these word games. Like you'd take out the words and you match them up. I don't even know. It was a bunch of I wish I could remember. But I don't remember there being internet. I don't remember I could access the internet.
I definitely from the last or sorry, I guess the first memory of my life, definitely remember having internet, but yeah, it was dial-up, but I don't remember us having dial-up that long.
I remember playing RuneScape on dial-up.
Oh man.
Every single person in our generation played RuneScape.
Never played it.
You're
Wow.
Fucked up, dude. That's what's wrong with you.
That's exactly
That
right.
amongst
You
other
never
things, but-
wielded a dragon longsword, dude. You don't understand what life is like. A rune scimitar.
Haha, joke.
Oh
Oh, God.
I understand.
I spent years.
Me too. Oh, I used to be a member of RuneScape.
Same, dude. Of
I
course.
never was.
You didn't pay that
Well, you suck,
$7.50 a
John.
month?
Damn.
Fuck that.
Bro, I did. I forced it. I was like, I gotta play this. I'm playing games, dog. You better pay for this guy.
Oh, fuck. I love the RuneScape, but I'm never going to play that again.
But you were talking about fire being humans' greatest invention. You
Not
said
necessarily our
that.
greatest invention, but like the key to imagination.
So what is the key to imagination?
Well,
Oh, that sounds like an album title,
This
dude.
is turning.
I swear I haven't dropped acid before this. But like, imagination is why humans are the superior species. Like I said, like we can think in the abstract, and that's why. And the only reason we can think in the abstract is because we could cook our food. Like we got that start of abstract thought, and like we're the hunter gatherers, and then started cooking our food, and our brain was like huge energy. We could have a big energy input and divert that to our brain. And that's why we're less physically able to. We evolved that way, but like, yeah, fire was like major key.
It'd
the best
be
music.
interesting though.
Monarchy.
Is that only? Did we just get so lucky that we have like hands? Are we the only one to project that imagination?
I think for us, because to go to evolution, it's because we evolved and different stuff started changing on us because we needed that.
Excuse me.
Sorry, I'm not. This
all good.
is hard to explain for me, but I.
Spit it out.
No, because evolution is pretty much us evolving to adapt to whatever environment we're in, and I think we ended up having hands because we were adapting into the environment we were in.
Yeah.
There we go. I got it out.
I'm proud of you, John.
And I agree with you. It's like the way someone said that to me in it the other day. It's like the only way we had our brains grew was because of fire. And I didn't really put that. I didn't really have that thought in my head before someone said that to me. I was thinking I was all smart because I was like, our brains grew because we diversified our eating. You think about all the animals in the world, and they only eat one thing, right?
Yeah.
Like they only eat that certain thing. But we started eating berries, we started eating nuts, we started eating fucking meat, we started
And we
eating
started
And then
grains.
we started adding stuff together to make different foods.
No, exactly.
And
But all those different chemicals from all those different food groups,
And we were able to get the most out of it too. We started learning, right?
yeah, exactly.
Like, this is the best for it, and I can get more energy out of this meat by cooking it. So meat's not bad for you.
It's just that's why I think
Bring
Asians
it
are
back.
so
well, I
smart.
think it's just again
Asians are so smart because they eat fish and rice, and it's just pure fuel for your brain.
True.
I
Just
just
pure fuel.
going back to him saying meat is good. I'll go back to I think it was the beginning of this podcast is meat. I think it's just us having to mass produce meat and get it out because we have a huge population kind of tainted it because now we're more into processed foods.
Yeah, and it goes back to that. And I agree. We're so fucked up because they pump all of these animals full of antibiotics.
Well,
Yeah.
I know
Yo, let's take a break.
cows- Oh,
Okay.
Something cows.
Okay, so yeah, I was just gonna get into the whole thing about how
Well, then get into it.
probably not every place does it, but I know a lot of the probably bigger places feed cows wheat rather than grass, which is what they're actually supposed to eat, apparently, because of their digestive system. I don't know a whole lot onto it other than what I just said, but
Yeah, it's all fucked because of antibiotics. Like I was saying, antibiotics pump these cows up, and that's how they, that's how they gain so much weight so fast. And
Like HGH
antibiotics.
and
What are
stuff.
antibiotics for?
Diseases,
Not disease,
viruses,
infections.
infections. Yes.
So it's supposed to kill infections. Antibiotics is supposed to kill infections. And when we are microdosing with antibiotics, when we're eating fucking McDoubles, the big issue that's going to come across
that it's not effective anymore.
that there are going to become super viruses. There are these.
Okay,
sure. There was a case. I think it was Virginia. Don't fucking quote me. But there was
You
this
said
case.
Virginia.
Yeah, you're right. There was a case where there was a super virus that antibiotics wouldn't kill because they are so immune to your body constantly taking in antibiotics. And that's going to
It's
kill
like
us.
we're providing the viruses with their own little vaccine.
No, exactly. We're microdosing, and it just becomes it's a state of evolution where the bacteria is going to grow beyond what we're capable of killing.
Well, if it kills us, then that's just purging the gene pool. Fuck us.
What do you mean?
If we're
purging
dumb
the-
enough to microdose and like create this, it's like, well,
But
okay,
are we
human
done
race
with-
deserves
are
to
you-
die.
Are you controlling that?
Well, no, but like I'm just part of the herd.
See, but that's scary though because we don't control what they feed those factory farm animals.
But you don't have to eat those factory farm animals.
become
It's hard, dude.
become a farmer.
It's
Eat your
hard,
own
and
food.
it takes a lot of money.
A lot of things that are right aren't easy.
Yeah.
It takes.
I know what you're saying though. Like I'm not gonna change. I fucking love processed food.
But you, can
don't
you
wanna live very long
Can you
anyway.
afford that? Can you go to the butcher and get grain fed when you can go buy a McDouble for $2? Can you go get a piece of meat that's worth $40 for the same price that you can get it? It's just not feasible.
It's a lot harder, especially for people like low income people like us.
which
Like
is
us, yeah.
which is the majority of the world.
Yes.
Yes.
Well, the thing is if like you're that serious about it, you can do it because you don't need meat at all. Because I was talking about meat. It's like
Exactly.
meat made us like smart, but it's like we don't live the same lifestyle. Like we need protein, but like you don't need meat for protein.
But
And like
before,
the minimum amount of meat you eat is affordable.
100%. And the reason we started eating meat was because we found fire, obviously.
Yeah.
But we needed food.
Yeah.
And we couldn't find nuts. We couldn't find this sorts of protein, so we started
There's no
eating
agriculture. Meat was our main food source because we could fucking run and chase it, so we had the energy to do that. But we could also promote our brain growth. That's why meat was so great.
meat. But couldn't we? Do you think that we could have promoted the same amount of brain growth if we, back in the day, had the foresight to just agricult, like
Farm.
if we're farming pistachios or if we were farming almonds at the rate we are farming meat.
If we had the capacity for that, maybe, but we had the capacity for agriculture because we got smart because we cooked meat.
That's true, but meat was the only thing we could get. We weren't
Yeah.
farming at that point.
Yeah. If early humans figured out how to like grow nuts and shit and get the protein, they would probably still hunt because they're not that smart, but like they wouldn't have thought to farm without having the evolved brain that they got from meat. Like,
Exactly.
it's
We got
like-
to the point where we're like, we need food. We're going to hunt because we need food.
Yeah.
Now we have the ability to farm anything. Do we really need meat right now? Or is that only pushed on us because McDonald's is a $100 billion corporation that has the money to press that on us?
I don't think we need meat per se.
we need protein, which
I
We
don't
is
think
need
so.
convenient,
protein.
but
Like
But where does protein come from?
I don't know.
I couldn't tell you.
It comes
personally.
from plants. It comes from nuts. It comes from cows get protein. It doesn't just pop up. They eat things which gets
If
them
I ate a
protein.
vegetarian, I'd get protein out of them.
Oh shit!
Exactly.
Cannibalism.
No, exactly. And people live vegetarian lives.
Yeah.
People survive off vegetarian lives.
Yes.
Yeah.
You don't need meat.
No.
No, you don't. But like, it's tasty.
Yeah, I like
That's
it.
an issue.
And protein
Is
is,
it though?
good.
Kevin was walking by. Sorry to interrupt you, Dick.
Oh, no. I
But
was-
Kevin was walking by, and remember that day me and Emily came in class really late because Kevin was
Yeah,
talking to us
yeah,
for 45
okay.
fucking minutes.
Yeah, yeah.
But he's like, you know, and I think about this too. It's like you get to a certain point in your life where you're like, fuck what tastes good. Like, cool, you're 12 and you're eating ice cream because it tastes good, but food is fuel
Yes.
to a certain point. So fuck what your taste buds and your instant gratification can give you when that is just fuel.
I think you should strike a balance though between pleasure and necessity.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I
But-
love
'cause-
to
but-
eat sugary foods. I don't have to. But I want to eat a lot of vegetables and stuff that's good for me. But then I also want to enjoy life of it, but by eating something that's tasty.
The one
But
thing
how?
is,
Sorry.
go ahead.
Where does that balance strike? How much are you willing to risk in order to have that pleasure?
Well, I guess that's up to the person then.
But do you not think if education was properly instilled that risk versus reward would be different?
Probably. I never went to school. I was homeschooled, so I don't know what you guys were taught in school. Were you taught how to have a healthy diet in school?
No.
They
They tried, yeah,
was
but
lackluster.
they didn't do the best job. I'm not blaming.
How did they try?
enough
Well,
to cover
they-
their own ass.
Yeah, like
you guys not
there's
have-
the set. There's like their set curriculum that they followed, and
Did you guys not have pizza days?
Yeah, we did.
So
But that's not the same thing as teaching you how to have a healthy diet.
kind of, but they don't teach
Well,
you.
it's not
That's why I'm asking.
instilling
salad
it. It's
day.
not instilling what they're teaching is the thing.
Dude,
like-
I don't, because I totally argue with both of you. I totally disagree with you that they even tried to help you have a healthy diet.
There's
Well,
part-
no,
it's
I
in
don't
the
think they
curriculum.
tried. I think they were.
I don't even think it's in the curriculum though. Never was I taught to eat healthy. I was told by my parents.
I was because they actually brought in like a person and
Yeah,
they
same.
kind of went through what the food guide or whatever it's called tells you should have.
Yeah, but that's a food guide, and the food guide was clearly wrong
No,
because
I
we
know.
just changed our
I know,
food guide.
but the intention was to teach about healthy eating. They just didn't do the best job because they kind of taught it and then just pushed it to the side and pizza days, whatnot.
My thing is it on the school to teach us healthy eating when I'm only at school, back in public school, you're only at school for one meal a day and it's packed by your parents most of the time, right? Is it not like, fuck the school system. Who gives a shit what they teach
That's-
you? Like,
okay.
Parents are so fucking lazy. Like, parents don't, well, I shouldn't say that because some parents have to work hard to be around and can't be available to teach some of that stuff. But, like, parents don't, like, they're relying on the school system too much. Like, if I have
Yeah.
kids, I'm going to tell them, like, what the fuck sex is, or, like, I'm going to teach them how to eat properly. Like, that's on the parents.
The thing, so
Yeah,
the thing
yeah.
is, it goes to your libertarian views, John. How much?
You just did
How?
a funny face.
That was hilarious. There needs to be a video.
John,
for
you're
this.
so cute. Yeah, get a video camera.
That's gay. Okay, so
I'm gay for John.
How much
Damn.
how much is it the government's responsibility to teach us? Do we want the government to totally dictate how we live our lives?
No.
I don't,
I-
but that goes partly to my views.
And so you said parents are lazy.
It's lazy is a tough word. There are parents that are lazy, but like there's some parents who
Is it-
just they make so little money that they can't be available. But like
But is it lazy or ignorance?
a little bit of both, and like there's no problem with being ignorant, but there's a problem with not wanting to change that. Right? There's
See,
some parents who
can
don't
you-
educate themselves. It's really easy to educate yourself on food.
My
Like especially with the internet, like there's no
Especially
excuse.
with the internet, but the internet's new.
Sure.
Like we were talking about earlier, the internet is not
But
something
still,
that's old.
there's always ways of acquiring information.
I think
No matter what era you live
partly
in.
to do with the health issues in my family, to do with diabetes and whatnot. My parents,
Do you have diabetes within your family?
a lot, yes.
Yeah.
That's
That
scary.
partly had to do with them trying to, especially my mom, I found, getting me on a healthy diet. And because I lived with my dad most of the time in my high school life, he had to pick a healthier diet because he has diabetes. So he was one thing I learned to love is he made this vegetarian lasagna with zucchini and
That's
stuff.
delicious.
And it was really fucking good. And that kind of got me more on a healthier diet path.
God bless my parents because they never had chips around the house. They
Damn.
never had pop around the house. Like from day one, my mom would feed me fucking squash and shit.
I'm not a squash fan. But zucchini,
I wasn't, but I was a kid. I was just eating whatever was
that
fed to
zucchini
me.
lasagna is so fucking good.
See, I wasn't I'm not dreading, but the one aspect about I'll be moving home in 8 days.
Yeah.
And since I moved out, I don't I bought chips today, but for the past couple of years, I've stopped buying junk food because I don't have very good impulse control. But it's growing up, there's always I could always have a cookie in my hand if I wanted, and more often than not, I wanted. So
Of course, it's
It's
there.
hard.
It's a primal instinct
Yeah.
to take when it's there.
yeah.
And
Yeah.
that's where it's do you think your parents are lazy or do you think they're and ignorance, do you think really that is controllable? To a certain extent, how controllable is ignorance when you don't know better? And the control
Depends how okay with
ignorance-
genocide you are, but
ignorance is a lack of information. That's
There's-
all ignorance. That's the
Is that,
definition
though?
that's the definition of ignorance.
Okay.
there's a difference between ignorance and stupidity.
Okay, yes. Okay.
Stupidity is knowing better but not. Ignorance is not knowing better, pretty much.
Exactly.
And ignorance is only a problem if there's no willingness to learn
Yes.
and improve.
It goes back to this is a very it's a reflection of the Republican Democratic views of the United States. Republican views are pull yourself up by the bootstraps and do better.
Yeah.
And then the Democratic views are you need help with this. Is that feasible when you are ignorant about health yourself to pull yourself up by the bootstraps and take care of your kid, or are you just doing what you know?
You need to be multifaceted. The people who do know can't force people. Frig. You can't force people to change, but you need to present avenues that they can take.
So is that the government's?
I would say if the government can't force you to change, but they shouldn't indulge.
Is that their
bad
job
habits.
though, or is that?
Well, it depends on your views of government. For me, it's the government has more power than anyone. That's just the way we're set up in Canada.
Yeah.
And if they have the opportunity to present an avenue that I can take to make my life better, they should.
I'm just
I don't
trying to
have to
say I
take it.
think big businesses are the power.
I
That
totally
But
agree.
government would be right below. But I think going to my views with the whole limited government, I think there should be some, at least from the government, they should obviously show you the options that you have, but I don't think they should be in full control because I think you have to have the willingness to change, but they should definitely show you the options you have for, since we're talking about healthy diets going.
Yeah, if you want to eat a bad diet, so what? But as long as there's the option to be better.
I think
So do you think that option is restricted due to financial capabilities?
what
well, who makes the price
are
for
you
those
talking
healthier things
about-
then?
The businesses.
If
Because it is more expensive
you're
to
right.
raise cows and not pump them full of antibiotics.
Yeah, it is. It is.
So that is business taking over.
Yeah. But everybody has that option to choose whether they want to
But
pay
I
more
think-
or
But
not.
if you are working a minimum
Yeah.
wage job and raising a child, do you have the option?
Probably not.
It's a lot harder. I'd
It is
say.
a lot harder.
Like
But,
that's the problem is because there's a lot of low income families or just low income people. It's a lot harder to find those
Yeah.
ways to eat healthier.
But
can-
at least
you can-
there's food to eat. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I think
Okay,
we should
so-
I think we should focus on getting it so that these low income families and whatnot have a way to eat an easier way to eat healthier.
Subsidize it or something.
You're so right there, but you just said at least there is food to eat.
Yes.
Think about where we live right now. I have a MacBook in front of me. I have this $400 piece of equipment right in me. I
Yes.
have these $100 mics in front of me. Do you not think that there's enough resources within this society to do you not think we have the ability to eat healthier?
No, we do.
So are you settling when you say at least there's food to eat?
If we go back a bit, before grocery stores, people
Okay.
had to hunt to survive. If you had a disability, you couldn't hunt. You know what I'm saying?
You're kicked off the edge. Think about the Romans, the Trojan.
Yeah.
If you had no legs, you're in that pit of bodies.
At least now, everyone does have the opportunity to eat every day, even if the food is not as healthy as it could be or should be.
I'm gonna throw something controversial.
Okay.
No, we need the controversy.
Oh, get those
Let's
views.
hear
Do you
it.
think it's a or a problematic socially that there is food to eat for everyone? Do you think that holds us back?
No.
Not having the strongest survive.
No.
See, but
Okay.
that's only looking more so.
See, I don't think- I don't
more
think it-
established countries.
That's a libertarian view right there, though. Because, no, exactly. That's a libertarian view saying there's no government social aid.
Yeah.
You got to fend for yourself. Only the strong will
Yeah.
survive.
It's like, well, the way society sits right now, there's no natural. Well, it depends where you are, but like, there's generally speaking no natural selection.
it's going out the window as we speak.
which
But-
is what happened to get to the point
But-
where we are. But, is that okay?
It goes back to that our thing that Nathan said, at least we have food to eat.
Yeah.
And me saying, look at all the shit we have. This could fucking feed a fucking family.
Fucking village in
No,
Africa.
exactly. This MacBook in front of me could feed.
Wouldn't taste
a
very
fucking-
good, but-
It wouldn't taste very good.
1500 or something.
But we do have enough, and it won't hold us back.
Yeah.
Because look at Stephen Hawking. That motherfucker's
Sure.
in a wheelchair. He's disabled. He would have been kicked off the edge. We have hit a point
Exactly.
where where we have the ability to feed everyone properly,
Yeah.
but we don't. We have the ability to
Sure.
take care of everyone properly, but we don't.
Yeah.
And that's why I asked you if we were settling.
Are we settling though, or is it just?
I think we're caught up. We're ignorant. We're all ignorant. We eat
Yes.
McDonald's.
exactly.
We're ignorant.
I think we're
Yeah.
we're too close to the subject to truly.
I think settling implies
Reflect on
that
it.
everybody's aware of how we could improve, but chooses not to.
I think
But the
that
argument
is-
of
I think
ignorance
that's
is
where
that
you are.
people don't understand the point of we are living in the most peaceful time in human history, the most prosperous time in human history.
Yeah.
How many people actually know that though?
Not many.
My
I-
parents don't believe that. They don't because they can't see past their own lives and what they've experienced.
But do you think if you went down the street and you asked how many out of 10 would these people say that McDonald's is healthy?
Hopefully
Probably
none of them.
not.
Well, what do you think?
Probably none.
Zero.
So is it ignorance or is it laziness?
If I'm
It's
going to
gluttony.
I'm
McDonald's,
going with laziness. Sorry.
Okay.
Depends how high they
Not
are.
exactly laziness. I think
Tyler?
we're going to go to the whole. I think a lot, not everyone, but I think there's a lot of people that are settling where it's just like, well, I could eat healthier, but this is quick. But
Yes.
there are still a lot of cases where people don't have enough money, so they go to places like this because it is cheaper.
Yeah.
Is it cheaper though?
I was just say it's a little bit of ignorance because I'll go to McDonald's and I'll spend I could spend $10 easy, where it's like I could spend $10 at the grocery store and that'd get me like 4 or 5 meals.
So I just
Yeah.
went to the grocery
Is-
store. I bought a bag of spinach, a bag of apples, a bag of frozen kale, a bag of frozen corn.
You hippie. Love
Frick.
frozen corn though. Fry it up in some margarine.
I bought 4 like cans of tomato sauce,
Okay.
and that was $23
Well, you fucking know how to live, bro.
for all of that food.
Just quit smoking.
But you're right. You're so right. I'm a hypocrite.
and then you spend $10 more on cigarettes.
And then you're so right. But is that laziness?
That's for the cheap cigarettes.
Is that
What
Is that
what
laziness?
laziness?
Going to McDonald's?
going to McDonald's compared to buying that food and making
Partially.
it?
I don't agree with your statement of it being ignorant, though, because you know that you could have gone to the grocery store. You're just choosing not to.
There-
I
I
don't think
think-
that's ignorant.
I
I'm just
think
thinking,
sometimes it is, though.
I think there is a lot of people out there that don't know that getting stuff like that is cheaper. Because I've very recently, like this year, started to learn that myself, that it is cheaper
Yeah, it's
to
not
go
always
to
ignorance.
grocery
Yes,
stores.
that's all I'm saying.
Beforehand,
It's
I
not-
thought, oh, like these fast food places are cheaper.
but sometimes people just want to eat a greasy ass burger like
Yeah.
me.
Exactly.
So
But,
I know that I could get a better
Hey.
deal at the supermarket.
but is that wrong?
It's not wrong.
No.
I don't think it's wrong.
Is that I think is that wrong just because it's there?
What are you saying?
Is you say I want this, so I'm going to go get it.
Okay.
You are not thinking about anything but that want.
Okay.
It's not a need, that's a want.
Yeah, you're right.
Is that wrong?
No.
If
See, I think it's okay to, like, you know, pig out for, like,
Humans
A
are
day or
creatures of
something.
desire.
I think it's okay if you want to, like, this one day just pig out, whatever. But I think overall,
It's
in
about-
general, you have to make sure you're
It's
eating.
balance.
Yes,
It's about
balance.
balance.
Is that
think-
a reflection of our coddleness, though?
I was gonna say you're going for like big picture, right?
Yeah.
Like I think if we eliminated fast food and like McDonald's, we could be further socially. Like if we eliminated the whole like want and gluttonous side of the human race, then we could further ourselves, but we don't want
Because we're so
to.
coddled. It's like, I want this, so I'm going to
Yeah,
get
we're,
it.
we're like a domestic cat.
That's a very good analogy. We are
Honestly.
fucking domesticated. We are domesticated more than these fucking cows.
Yeah. We have better lives, but
We do have better lives. You're right.
as far as we know.
What do you guys think about kind of switching lanes, but still on the same topic, about the $15 minimum wage that's going to be coming up January? Let's go see.
I've
Let's hear
already-
your libertarian viewpoint, John.
Well, honestly, like, because we do have this government, as I said, like, I know I'd like the whole limited, although I don't agree with the Libertarian Party of Canada. Just gonna say, there's a bunch of stuff I agree on with them, but there's these extremes that I strongly disagree with, so
I'm
overall.
going to
I'm
say
against-
something. So, libertarian, I remember when I was in civics class in grade 10, and my teacher said, always when you're looking at these parties of Canada, the Conservative Party of Canada, separate conservative viewpoints from the actual party. Liberal, they call themselves the Liberal Party of Canada. That is not liberal viewpoints. That is the Liberal Party. You know what I mean?
Well,
There's
they're-
a Libertarian Party, but that doesn't mean that they're Libertarian
There are,
viewpoints.
Yeah.
There's kind of degrees, I think, personally. I guess we're digressing from the original topic, but there's obviously extremes and different degrees. I think the Libertarian Party of Canada is a very extreme level of libertarian where I am not that extreme, where there's stuff about like getting rid of help for disabilities, mental and physical, where I'm very strongly against, where I think we should have that stuff in.
They want natural selection.
Pretty much, it's a lot of like super limited, like the government doesn't really do much, you know, the right to bear arms and everything, which I personally disagree with because I don't think that'll help protect our country.
Yeah.
I don't really.
Where are you going with this?
Well, what was the original question?
Honestly, I'll wait for Evan to get back because
It was some. What was your first?
What do you guys think about the $15?
Oh,
minimum
okay,
wage?
so you
That's
wanted
what
to
it
go to me being a libertarian, of course.
Well,
See,
no, that's not.
no, but I know. No, you said
The
you
thing-
want
no,
to hear my.
The thing is, that is government coming in to the market. That is government controlling the market, which is not a libertarian viewpoint.
Yeah. But I think because it's going to be hard to just get rid of this government controlling, you know, minimum wage and everything, like we can't just fully get rid of that control. I think $15 is good because I see it as now people will have more money to spend on stuff. Therefore, businesses may have to pay people more, but then they're going to get more business because people have a bigger disposable income.
See, it's an interesting point. The full circle to what we've been talking about, and it's like I don't know how to put
Find
this.
your words.
So we were talking about people eating McDonald's because it's cheaper.
Okay.
There's not enough money to eat good food.
Okay.
Now that there is a law that says you have to pay this,
Okay.
you have the ability to buy these good foods.
Okay. Are you wondering whether people will?
No, because there's a statistic. The 1%, the top 1%, statistic of what they do with their money. They spend 10% of their income. 90% of it is saved.
Okay.
90% of it is put into a bank. The bottom 99%, there's a statistic. They spend 90% of their income and they put away 10% of their income.
Okay.
So 90% of their income is going back into the economy. And that goes against the libertarian view of control of the market, and the market will feel itself out.
Yeah.
And the conservative view on this, not Conservative Party of Canada, but like the right-wing view, is you need to let the market control itself.
Okay.
And how far does that go?
Like the minimum
See,
wage
that's
thing?
that's why I'll go back to me not being an extreme libertarian. Like, I could see the free market as a good thing, but I'm kind of a bit... I'm, like, on the fence about it because I know having this... Because of the way society is, I see this bump in minimum wage being good.
It goes back to what you have repeated multiple times about Killer Mike saying you shouldn't be extreme anything.
Yeah.
You should be open-minded to concepts.
I think
we are talking about a society where you... Oh my god, I can't believe I just lost my train of thought.
Oh, shit.
Okay, I'll just
I-
get in. But yeah, no, he said like you can't be extreme libertarian, extreme capitalist, extreme communist because that will never work. You have to find a balance to benefit society pretty much.
So we are in a changing... It goes back to the point where we were talking about earlier about how we eat McDonald's. And if only we switched into McDonald's. What if McDonald's was vegetarian? We have the resources to be able to do that.
Okay.
The market doesn't want that to happen, though, because it's making a shit ton of money off these cows. So now that we have the resources to pay people $15 an hour, that needs to be implemented, right? Because the market is not taking control of that.
Well, I think there's a misconception about minimum wage going up. Like, wages are one of the biggest costs for a company.
Are
And
they?
They're up there. And their wage going up affects prices which people can sell things. Like, you have to pay people more to work. You're going to have to sell at higher prices to compensate. Cost of living is driven up by minimum wage going up.
But does that only need to happen if you want to sustain your net profit?
Some businesses live paycheck to paycheck, though. When you bring up minimum wage to $15 an hour, know who can pay that?
What?
McDonald's.
No, but exactly. But
Not
what,
the independent
what
grass-fed
small
place.
business pays their employees minimum wage? I'm working for a small business right now, pop-up podcasting. This guy
Yeah.
there's one guy. He rents a small apartment in a high-rise downtown Ottawa. He is paying me $20 an hour. That is
Yes.
not minimum wage. He has the ability to pay me that. McDonald's, they are trying. The goal of a company is to maximize profit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a statistic out in the US. Let's take a poll. What do you think is fair? How much money do you think a CEO should make compared to a employee? What do you think's fair?
That's a good question.
Well, it's say a number.
Compared to minimum wage.
However much times an employee, how much should employers make compared to their employees?
Not as much as they're making.
Well,
definitely,
no,
but-
say a
Say
number.
5 times.
5 times. Okay, that's interesting.
I would have said like 2 or 3. Like
2 or 3 times.
depends.
Okay,
Depends on the CEO.
I'm again with Derek on this 2 or 3 probably.
2 or 3. Okay, this is gonna fucking blow your minds.
it's
Then.
like what, like
Is it-
100 times?
Okay, so the average price. So back in the 80s, it was the CEO was making 70 times more than what their employers make.
That's crazy.
And the average American polled to say that they should make about 12 times more, which is way more than your socialist communist.
Well, you just wait till I bring up another topic.
But the real
Oh.
fact of how much CEOs are making compared to their employees, on average in the US, is 376 times more their employees.
Jesus
God
Christ.
How far is it? Oh, shit. What's up, Sam? How's work?
It was great.
Do you want a dart?
What? Do I want one? No. Do I have some? Yes.
Okay, true.
Good to know.
God bless. 376 times their employees.
That's crazy.
It goes back to your libertarian view. It's an argument against the conservative view of the market will balance itself out. Are we at a point of no return of when the market is going to balance itself out?
See, that's why I partly like it would be nice to have this free market, but I kind of think
It'd be nice.
I kind of think we're getting
no!
past that point where we kind of have to control it a little
And
No
we
one
need
gets that
to
joke.
help out
to
our
help
brothers.
balance
Gets
it
that
out. I
joke.
think, yeah.
There needs. See, this is a
People
huge.
don't care about people.
But this is a very interesting conversation we're having right here because this is a huge debate. That's what's going on in the United States right now. It's going on in the biggest free market in the world. It's like, when do you need to put in that balance? What is the difference between capitalism and communism? When do we need to interfere with the market in order for there to be income equality? Do you just need? Does Derek just need to pull up his bootstraps and work harder?
No.
In order to be in that 1%?
I don't work very hard, so I probably could put a little more effort. But like, yeah, relatively speaking, I shouldn't have to work. Like most of the people who make minimum wage work harder than like the 1% people. It's just like the 1% people.
I don't know.
will just
I'd argue that too.
It depends on the person. Like,
I don't know.
there's certain people who just like got a lucky break, or like they worked hard and like it worked out. Like J.K.
Nepotism is
Rowling.
real.
J.K. Rowling didn't work too hard, but like she's not a bad 1%er, right?
I think she worked hard. Write a book that's Harry Potter.
Well, true, but like
Right,
she
I
I
didn't,
don't
Potter.
she didn't
necessarily
dig-
think
dig.
that
but Donald
anyone
Trump,
works harder than the other person.
I disagree. Donald Trump, his father, gave him a small loan of $1 million.
Oh, I know.
That's
all know.
right there.
Yeah.
That's the issue right there. Nepotism. But I disagree with you 100%.
Okay, what are you saying?
I believe that you really need to work hard in order to get to that 1%. Other people do work harder than other people.
Okay. Yeah, you're not wrong. I'm saying that they
But-
don't necessarily work harder to such a degree that it deserves them earning 376 times the amount that
Yeah.
a minimum wage worker.
Exactly. It
Hurts.
goes back to our point of when do we need to step in and figure out the equality? When do we need to step in and change what's happening? We don't need to serve people McDonald's when we have the ability to serve people good food.
Well,
Do
I'm
you
going
think that we are obligated to serve people good food, or we are obligated to pay people better wages, that we're obligated to do these things?
We're not obligated to do any of
Okay.
those things.
Okay.
But there needs to be a balance,
Yes, I agree.
like you said.
But then if you don't think people are obligated to do that, how do we get there?
It's hard. You're gonna have to be
Kinda
obligated.
contradictory, yeah.
You're gonna have to be obligated. It's like when I think about it, I've been thinking about this a lot because I used to be super leftist. I used to be I fucking donated money to Bernie Sanders when he was running. I donated $35 as a Canadian
Nice.
to Bernie Sanders when I was running. And
Rip.
no, exactly. God bless him. But I totally lost my point again.
Well, I'll just put in something I was going to put in a while ago,
Yeah.
but like looking at some of these charities, like UNICEF being one, I don't know the actual number, but I know whoever the CEO or boss is makes a shit ton of money.
Oh fuck, charity is a huge business,
And that's where I have a problem. Like a lot of these charities,
I fucking hate.
the CEOs make a lot of
Is that
money.
an issue though?
I think so.
Why? What? But that charity is.
Because I think a lot of the money, well, not that a lot of the
think
money.
about how
does.
much money that's helped, and think about how many people that's
much of
helped.
No, I know, but I
Does,
think
like gets
that
into pockets, not
I
charity.
think too much goes into the pockets because this is a charity. I understand people need to be paid, of course, but I think they're getting paid too much. Is the thing for a charity?
The thing I disagree with about that is a better business model. I was thinking about it. Me and my buddy are gonna start a snow removal business this winter. And my business plan, this is strategically business. This is not like at it's
You don't have
great.
a passion for removing snow.
No, yeah, exactly. But this is not for just personal. I want to go up to doors and say, okay, we will remove your snow for $20 flat rate or however much a flat rate is, and we are going to donate 10% of all income to a charity. That is a business model. That is not me being, I'd love to say that's me being a good person,
Yeah.
but that is me understanding how to get ahead of the other competition. An old lady is going to be way more inclined to pay us because we are donating that 10%.
See, that's different than a charity, though.
Yeah, I guess so.
Well, it's more just I think that because like they are a charity, and I'm not saying that the CEO or whatever shouldn't be paid. They should obviously get a wage, but I think what it is.
I think they deserve that money because of the amount of money that has been given.
But when you look at
But
like,
no one's given money to the CEO.
No,
like,
but he started that. That's the beginning
I
of that.
think-
Yeah, but
I
if
just
he
think-
actually, if a CEO for a charity starts a charity to actually, he really wants to help people, then why is he taking so much of that fucking
But
money?
shouldn't he be rewarded for that?
that's why I'm
Well, yeah,
saying.
but why is he
that's-
taking so
Why
much
should he make
of
the-
Yeah,
that
that's
fucking
what-
money?
What's the amount of money?
I don't know the exact number. I remember hearing it, but I remember it being a whole ton.
If
like,
a motherfucker raises $10 million for charity, I'd be willing to throw 2 million of that at him.
That's not how it goes though. He gets the 10 million and the 2 million goes the other way usually.
Okay, so is that actually how it works though?
I've heard this is out of my ass figures, but like I've heard like some cancer societies is like only 10% of what they take
Okay,
in
cancer
gets,
is a totally different subject.
it's still a charity.
Yeah, but cancer's. Think about how many billions of dollars we put into cancer and still not figured out. They make
Yeah.
millions of dollars
Well,
off
let's
of
not get into that.
chemotherapy. Yeah, exactly. That's a totally different
Yeah.
thing. But I think that's the only way this libertarian view is going to work. That's the only way the market is going to be able to balance itself out when people start paying for the good product. Grain-fed chicken. When people start paying for that and understand that that's when the market will balance itself out, when people start buying good shit. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? When I go to shovel snow and people pay us for that, that is when we start giving back is when the market will balance itself out.
I think the one thing like that all this social stuff is like I think about it a lot. It's like there needs to be a really big social for any progress like just needs to be a huge blow up and like a reset. There needs to be a big change in the system, but because the populations of like these first world countries that can do it are so big, they're so divided. Like America will never get anything done because like 48% voted for Trump, 49% voted for Hillary, or no, it was like 25 voted for Hillary, 24 voted for Trump, and like 50 didn't vote at all. Like it's a country completely divided, and if one's pulling this way, one's pulling that way, your net energy gain is zero. Like you're not going anywhere. So like something needs to happen.
There was an interesting Times cover to talk about that, and the Times cover. Do you guys see that? Remember we talked
Was it
about
about the horns?
the horns. There are horns over
Oh,
those.
yeah.
But the title was "The President of the Divided States of America."
Yes.
Very interesting. And it goes
America's
to that point.
never been more divided.
I
like,
saw a clip today. Did you hear about the car ramming through protesters in Charleston? Okay,
did
so
not
there's a
about
white
that.
Yeah.
to
supremacist
totally
rally in Charleston.
I
to
heard about
totally
that.
switch. Be careful what you say because it's alt right.
Well,
technically
the article
not.
I read said that, so I didn't dive deep into it, so don't quote
So
me. But-
yeah, it's all right. They are. So you guys know the issue about the Confederate flag
Yeah.
in the United States,
Yeah.
right? Totally switching topics. This is kind of totally going off.
Big
but who
social
cares?
change.
That's how we work in this
Segue.
No,
podcast.
you're right. You're right.
That's how it works.
We're switching topics. We're switching gears. But there is a Confederate statue that's being removed in It's in Charleston, South Carolina.
Okay.
So
What?
it's a
Okay.
Confederate statue. It's
I thought it was
someone
in like West Virginia. Or
it's
something.
someone who fought for the Southern states during the Civil War, and they are protesting against the removal of the statue because people are saying this statue represents slavery, and
I don't think
there
so.
were clashes. There was violent protests that happened. Someone died today because there was a car that drove through that protest. There were
Jesus
fights today.
Christ.
It goes back to that point of divided states of
Yeah.
America.
It's like we just need, I don't know, conformity. But it's like that's taking away free will, and
What is conformity? Conformity in what way?
well, conformity is the wrong word. We need compromise. Nobody's willing to compromise. Like, I don't know. There's a lot of obvious solutions, and everyone has obvious solutions in their head, but nobody wants to do it any other way other than their own.
But the obvious solution to you, what if I was alt-right sitting right here with an obvious solution in my head is keep the fucking statue up. That's our history.
yeah. For me, I don't consider myself actually saying that is pretty counterpoint, but
Saying
I
what?
would be like, just
Saying
leave the
what?
statue. I don't give a shit. History, recognize history, acknowledge it, but don't associate it so strongly with it.
Should it
But
be glorified though in that way?
no,
Is a statue glorifying history
Is a
or just saying that it happened?
A
And here's
sta-
a dude who
I
was
think
part of it.
statues in general are glorifying whatever it is
100%.
that they're
See, the
a statue
statue-
for.
the statue isn't the
If they-
issue.
what if there's a statue of Adolf Hitler
Where would it be?
in Germany? What if there's a statue of Adolf Hitler? Would you say take that down?
Well, it depends.
What do you mean it depends?
If let's say there's a plaque on the statue and it says at this
Fuck
time,
this guy?
No, if it says at this time, 60 years ago, he rose to power. That's not.
That's
for,
avoiding
That's
the
not
entire...
for
No.
or against.
Yo.
That's saying this happened right here.
Do
That's
you-
history.
Hey, stop.
Okay.
Do you not think that you should be against killing 11 million Jews?
Well, I am against that.
Well, then why would you keep that statue up
Well, what-
saying, why would you make that...
What did the statue in Charleston say on it?
It was just a statue of the person who
Okay.
was a part of the Southern fight. But don't you think that you should be totally against that? Don't you think there should be negative connotation written all over Adolf Hitler?
See, for me,
Or,
I see
is that
it.
going to repeat itself?
I see it as statues are intended to, like, not idolize, but kind of glorify whatever. So, say you have a statue of you, that would be something glorifying you, being like, okay. But I think stuff like
the can opener.
yeah,
No, but-
I think
One day.
museums is the place to put
Statue of a giant
stuff
can.
like on the Holocaust or Hitler or whatever, because I think it's just the intention of what they are for.
But that's the thing. How you're saying that you should just put that up there? You're being a very social justice warrior right now, saying there should.
Fuck off,
No,
bud.
that's
There's the
my
French
opinion.
Canadian.
No, it would be like, fermez ta gueule, espèce d'idiot, tabarnak.
Okay, shut up.
Okay.
The devil's tongue.
No, I'm saying
Hey,
it's
let me
about.
finish my point. Let me finish
Oh,
my
I think
point.
that's coming up.
Let me finish my point, dude.
Just let me finish my point. Goddamn 47.
Happens every podcast. No, you're probably right though. No one makes a statue of something they hate.
It's not even that you hate. Do you want history to repeat itself?
No, but that's why you shouldn't forget about it.
Yeah.
You are forgetting about it. You're saying he rose to power 60 years ago. You are discounting those 6 million Jews that died during that.
No.
Yes. Where
How
is
am
this?
I discounting
Because
that?
you didn't put 6 million Jews died because of this guy.
Okay, then put that on the
okay,
statue.
I'm going to take back me saying glorifying. I found a better word for what I meant. I mean to, like, say, commemorate. Because, like, say you we'll have, like, I know statues of, like, soldiers in World War II, whatever. That's trying to represent and commemorate those soldiers, where something like a statue of Hitler or the statue of this.
Sorry, John. I want to get back to
Okay.
this.
Okay.
But what is... So you're saying Hitler, what is he going to be standing with his hands on his hips, looking up to the sky like a great leader?
He did revive their economy.
Not
You're
in
right.
the best.
No, you're wrong. You're not wrong. You're
in
not
the
wrong.
best of ways, though. Because
No, he did in the best of
that
ways.
was-
That's why
that was a joke.
he's a genius. He's a genius. You
Well,
can't
yeah.
deny he was a genius. He was an evil genius, and he did. But there was World War One, and instantly it became the greatest economy in the world with one of the greatest
They got
armies.
fucked by the Treaty of Versailles.
But what is
He
what is
survived.
that statue going to look like? Try to paint that picture in my head. Is he going to be staying with his hands on his hips, looking up like a great ruler, or is he going to be like shot in the head? Is he going to be in a casket?
I don't know.
So, do you think there should actually be that statue?
No, I don't.
Okay, so it goes back to your opinion about this Southern leader of the Civil War. Do
I
you
don't think
there's-
that. Okay, let me explain a little bit more into my thoughts.
Well, then fucking
This
do it.
statue is already there.
Yes.
It's been there for who knows how many years. Do you think that statue represents slavery?
Okay, this is my time to talk right now.
Okay,
Okay.
I want to hear what you think.
Okay. This is my thoughts. I'm sure somewhere around Germany there was a statue of Adolf Hitler.
Yes.
And that represented great economic strength, like fucking Derek said. Times change.
They do.
You need to get rid of that statue because times have changed. This Southern leader who represented the fight for slavery.
Okay.
That is what the Civil War was about. The South wanting slavery and the North trying to free the slaves. Times change. We need... McDonald's is not good. Times should change. McDonald's should be vegetarian. It goes back to the same point we've been working at. Times change.
They do.
you need to put away. Oh my God! If your fucking grandmother was a racist, and you're like, oh, just let her be like that because she's like that. It's like, no, dude. Like, that's not okay just because it's been like that.
No, I agree.
Okay, then what's your point after that?
Do you think that those people protesting are racists?
No, but
Okay.
I believe they should not be so close-minded into thinking that history has not changed. That
Yeah, I agree.
this time has not changed.
Yes.
So I believe that statue should be removed because that represents something that is not a part of what is right now.
Okay. I
And
see
there
your
should-
point.
Okay.
I see your point, and I agree with your point.
Okay.
Okay. But I think that what I was trying to say was
Yeah.
that people removing the statue
Yeah.
because they say that it represents slavery, that it does all of this,
Yeah.
and people protesting like they did. It's like they don't actually that kind of stuff is not really about the statue.
I get
Oh,
what you're
I've been sitting here waiting to say that. I was gonna be like, the issue is the fucking statue. It's the people.
It's not the statue. It's about the people.
I totally get that, and sorry to interrupt
It's
you,
cool.
but it's I get
But
what you're
until
saying.
a time comes
hey,
where people can. Yeah, shut up for a sec.
No, I was talking and you interrupted me.
No, I was talking.
I was saying my
just been
point.
a series of interruptions.
No, but
No, it's
actually, be
fine.
quiet. I was saying my point. So I understand where you're coming from because it's a social justice warrior issue, saying take that statue down because that represents that, and I get that. But there is such a that does not represent what it is today, and history changes.
Is it though? Because there's people who are still protesting to take that to not take that statue down. So I think that is still the way it is today. Do you know what I'm saying?
See, what I think is that
Because
get
if
that.
we got to a point where people can sit down and say, "Yo, should we remove the statue?" and people can go like, probably. Then I think we've reached that point. But that's not what's happening. It's people saying this represents slavery. These people are saying no, it doesn't, and they're fighting like that. So I don't think we're at that point yet.
Do you think they would ever reach that point without splitting the United States of America in half and making them two separate states?
Probably not. Whoa, okay, wait, whoa. Do you mean like the United States becoming a separate country? Is that what you're
Yes,
saying?
yes.
It would solve so many problems for them, but like,
I don't know.
This is my theory. In
okay, now
Just
we're
to be
gonna-
and
clear,
we're gonna do
I
weird
really
shit.
don't care about that statue.
no, me neither.
Like I would want it to be taken down. I'm just saying.
Yeah,
like,
no, I understand. I appreciate your point because it's definitely the other side of the argument. But my theory going into this is okay. Look at what just happened with Brexit. The UK just left European Union.
yes.
California, a few months ago, asked for a separation from the United States of America. In 20 years from now, California is going to be a separate state. United States of America is too big. There's going to be a point where there's going to be no federal government in the United States. They are,
than that.
they are,
Not population wise.
well, it's irrelevant to the landmass. It depends on the populations. The United States is going to have to become their own separate nations. The states are going to have to become their own separate nations. It's going to have
It
to.
would be more efficient.
100%. It's going to have to happen.
Yeah.
Because they will no longer be the the divided states
They're not.
of America.
They're not united. They're just the states. of
Exactly.
America.
And it's just like this conjuring of
Even
groups.
a smaller population like Canada, we could divide by province. Even you could subdivide in Ontario too. But if you look at like Toronto versus Calgary, why should those places have the same laws? Calgary's hard. Well, actually, I think a couple elections ago they were orange, but like they're hard blue most of the time, and Toronto's hard red. Like,
But that's an interesting debate, and that comes up with Trump's argument against borders. What is the next step in human evolution? Is it globalization or many separate states? Because once that creates more borders. Is that a good thing or is that a bad thing?
we need.
And it
I-
goes back to your sorry to interrupt. It goes back to your libertarian view of the federal government not controlling so much. When you go down to your separate states and letting your states depend on what they think should govern them, That's a libertarian point of view.
I like it shouldn't. It's that's a misleading thing. It's like you're giving me like A or B, but like we shouldn't think ones and zeros on this. Like it should be like compromises and like yes, small
But
states.
how do you
but
compromise? I understand that, but how do you compromise?
like my ideal like world, you give me globalization versus just like super small segregation states, not segregation in classic white and black,
borders.
but like borders. You have like groups of like-minded people. Like you take Toronto, it's just its own governed city. It's liberal as fuck, and it's an arts producer. Calgary, fucking oil, hard blue, rednecks, hillbillies, fucking stampede, fucking guns, shit. Like they can live. The people who want to live how they want to live, governed by like a conservative government, just mind your own fucking business and don't have a problem with other people's lifestyles and be cooperative. So like you could have Japan, who's like a fucking tech leader, and they're cooperative with the world and push our tech forward. But then like Toronto pushes the arts or Nashville pushes the arts. Like you have like these different states and everyone lives how they want to live, and each place can rely on each other for certain things that they are void of, right?
They-
But, like, that's too cooperative for the
See,
human race.
Would they clash?
It would clash because that's just human nature. People can't cooperate.
So
People can't fathom other lifestyles.
So do you think that we all need to be under one global entity?
It would like the human race could be more efficient, but like
Because you know what's crazy?
isn't that what the UN tries to do?
I don't know if that's what UN tries to do.
don't
It might,
know.
but that's what Adolf Hitler tried to do. If you switch it into that, he said there's gonna be one race that rules the entire
That's not what I'm
world.
talking about though. Like if there was
Yeah,
like
no, I didn't mean to put race into that.
Yeah.
But there's one state that governs the entire world. Is that the only way that or are we going to be able to figure out a way to cooperate with each other?
See, that's why I think we shouldn't have, one specific leader. I think it should
Yeah.
be sort of like a large council of people.
well like fucking Greece,
More
it was
so.
Like Neil
oligarchy.
deGrasse Tyson and Joe Rogan talked about.
Did they actually? I
That-
don't remember
Did
that.
you listen to that?
I listened
listened to it.
both
I don't actually
podcasts. I don't
remember
remember
that.
them talking about that.
Oh no, he wasn't talking to Neil deGrasse Tyson about that, but he mentioned he was talking to someone about having a council of elders, and Neil deGrasse Tyson was one of those people on that council of elders that controls the
as
world.
long as you can keep it unbiased.
See, that's
So-
But how do you keep it unbiased? Everything
You
in
can't.
this world is biased.
Because people like people can't separate their own ambition from like.
See,
like-
No, exactly. It's impossible because we aren't God. We aren't God. Everybody attacks a certain point of view with a certain bias. So what is the point that we're gonna have to get to in order for us to cooperate with each other?
I don't know if we'll ever reach that point. We'll probably just go extinct before that happens.
You think so?
I think humans are dumb enough to do it.
I agree with you.
Do you though? Because like we said before in this podcast, we are in the most peaceful and prosperous time of humanity's existence, right?
Yeah.
I think that we will continue to get better
Okay,
and get more cooperative
I
and get better as a species.
I agree with
really
you.
believe that that's going to
we
happen.
are the most peaceful time. We are in the most peaceful time right now to ever live, but we are in the most dangerous time to ever live at the same time.
You're right.
So it's like we are walking on a very fine stretch of wire across two buildings.
We're making it work.
going back to the whole council point I was trying to say, like, again, I think there should be a large council. But going back to our last podcast we did with the whole, I think people should have more options to vote for their area, like kind of going into your whole thing where Calgary has
Yeah.
their thing they contribute to, Toronto has theirs. I think pretty much those places should vote on who they want to represent their province, like we have now. But I don't think we should focus on the whole, this person's conservative, this person's liberal, this person's the Green Party. I think it should be like, here's your options of people, you vote on them, then they represent you in this large council or whatever you want to call it, which then they all have to kind of decide on a decision, which obviously they'll have to compromise for on these decisions for laws or whatever they're voting for.
Did you guys ever learn in school about, like, is there a sort of class on, like, how to be, like, compromise with people, or, like...
No,
No.
of course not.
Well,
Why would you? I believe that the school system is so fucked.
Well, yeah, I do too.
The school system creates workers. The school system brought you up to be an engineer, so you can build buildings, so you can work for the government.
Yeah.
They didn't bring you up to think with a free mind. They didn't say you need to make your own decisions. They're like, this is what you do. This is how you do it. You're right if you do it this way. You're wrong if you do it that way.
Now, do you think that we could do, if we taught kids to grow up learning how to interact with people in a more progressive way and learning how to compromise and learning how to cooperate and get along with each other, do you think that would improve us?
100%.
Okay.
But it goes to John's point. It goes to the point we were talking about earlier in this podcast that Derek said. How much room do you give the government to teach your child? Because that's when it turns into a tyranny. That's when it turns into, hey, Jews are bad. We are going to kill them all. That is what that turns into.
Yeah.
The government telling everybody what to do at what time.
there needs to be like everyone can. Like I had my grade 12 English teacher was Mr. Robinson, and he was fucking great because our first like unit that we did was fucking I forget what, but like cognitive thinking, like
Okay.
Just like thinking about what you see, and like we had arguments, and not like arguments, but like
constructive
like
discussion, like what we're doing
basically
right
what
now.
we're doing now. And like people would be able to come out of that class, like, you know, you get heated, like, but like you'd be able to come out of that class and it's just like,
And shake the motherfucker's hand after.
yeah, like Mr. Robinson was great for that. But like,
You know what's interesting? Okay, so Elon Musk, he's like, I don't know if you guys follow
Tesla
Elon.
owner.
Yeah, Elon
Yeah.
Musk, the founder of SpaceX. Let me get my piece about Elon
PayPal.
Musk. He started with PayPal, but Elon Musk may be the greatest. He may have the most impact on human history ever.
I hope.
I think he will. But he said the school system needs to change.
Yeah.
Yes.
He's not
The
wrong.
school system, if I was brought up when I was 16 and I was doing those long division equations in math
Long
class,
division is stupid.
no, it's stupid. But if my teacher, Mr. Ray, wasn't such a fucking idiot, and he was like, you could build spacecrafts with this equation. You could figure out a cure to a disease with this equation. You can apply this to so much more. This is applicable in so much of life. I would have had such a different life.
Yeah.
I know it.
Okay.
And that's where we need to change. We need to
It's
change the
how
school
and
system.
not why.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly. There needs to be, and it's like going back to your English teacher. He's saying you had the ability to have these discussions.
Yeah.
He gave you the ability to free think, and he gave you the tools of what you needed to do with those.
Yeah, like one of our like topics was argument strategy flaws, like identifying like bad argument strategy. So it's like if it's like yelling, then that's not good. If they're attacking you personally, or if they're giving you like the low hanging fruit, like different
This
like
is
things.
kind of what I wanted to say, is that I think I talked about in the first podcast is I think there's way too much of people yelling back and forth at each other and being like, oh, fuck these liberal cucks or whatever
Yeah.
the fuck.
Cuck is a
Oh,
good word,
fuck
though.
Yeah,
these,
shill.
these conservative racists or Republican racists,
Yeah.
whatever, and it needs to be more of discussion.
You know what's
type.
interesting about that? And what the point I was going to make was my mom said these teachers need to be different. That's what needs to change. Is these teachers have such an impact on our society?
They do.
That teacher that you just said, he's talking about those arguments but he gave you the thought to reflect on yourself.
Yeah.
That was a point where you were reflecting how to express your message.
Yeah.
That was you thinking about yourself. How often do we look in the mirror?
He was a teacher who he's a teacher. He's not someone who's looking for a paycheck.
Exactly. We go to our school right now. I think Wayne is such a shitty teacher. He's so uninspiring. He does not make me reflect on myself. He does not wish to teach me how and to think for myself. That teacher taught you to reflect on yourself. And that's what you need to do. You need to second guess yourself. You need to think about your actions and how you're doing them. And that's such an important. My mom brought that light to me. We were on our drive here from Bracebridge, from Muskoka, and she's like, "It's these teachers that are shitty. There needs to be something changed. There needs to
Parents
be
have a part to
Well,
play.
there's
100%." And it goes back to the same conversation
Yeah.
I brought. It's like how
and
much.
we're on a circle jerk now.
No, but
Yeah.
that's life. It's a cycle. Fucking how much of the government is playing? How much do we trust the government to play in our development? Right now, it's not doing a very good job.
No.
To be totally honest with you.
Yeah.
I've learned way more from the internet and from people I listen to rather than teachers.
Yeah.
going back to, well, I guess staying on the topic, I should say, but like, yeah, there's a lot of teachers I think who are more just like, okay, I have this paycheck, I'm just going to teach what's required, where looking at Derek's teacher, he was actually trying to teach something rather than looking at, oh, I'll just teach what they tell me to teach.
Exactly, but it's so dangerous to think about, oh, I'm just going to teach I'm just going to learn what you teach me. Look at Justin.
Okay.
Justin, to a hyperbolic, I'm making this super exaggerated.
Yeah.
But him saying the authority, you know what you're talking about, Wayne. I'm going to follow you exactly. That is what led to Hitler killing Jews. That is what led to that. A falling
I get
victim
that.
to authority.
We're getting
there's been
very
times-
extreme.
But that's
no, I'm not.
You see,
I'm not
exactly.
saying no to what you
No,
said.
I get what you're
mentality,
saying.
right?
It's very hyperbolic, but it's the same thing. We need to learn how to think for ourselves. Justin clearly hasn't learned that in his however many years in the public school system. So have many people not learned that.
Well,
Just
yeah,
so
there's
people know, we're not talking about Trudeau.
yeah, okay, yeah.
Thanks for that
Oh,
disclaimer.
true.
Justin,
Yeah,
we know at school.
No, but
he's a
yeah,
classmate.
Okay,
Yeah,
but
no,
that's
There's a lot
why
of
I
people
like
that
what
see it.
some of the teachers say is, yes, take what we're telling you, but like say the workflow, like Kevin says, this is my workflow. While you're in this course, just follow my workflow. But if you find something else works better for you, use that because that's more comfortable for you and faster.
College is different too. I'm really exaggerating the
Yeah.
school system. When we are prepubescent and we are 11 years old and we are growing at that point, we are forming our algorithms that our brain works at.
I 100% agree that the school system needs to be better and that the government needs to do a better job of instilling in people the need to, or the want to think for themselves, right?
Well, that's why it was cool. Sorry, you can.
How
finish your
much, like Derek has been saying, how much do you think, because I think that there's three aspects to this kind of thing, which is the government, the parents, and the person themselves. I never went to school. I've never gotten the same kind of, you go to school at this time, you have to do this, you got to get your homework in. Like, I never did that. My parents taught me and I taught myself. Okay? I think that yes,
Did you teach yourself, or
I
did
taught
you,
myself how to read. I taught myself a lot of math. I taught myself a lot of things.
Did you teach yourself, or did you learn from other people?
No, I pretty much taught myself a lot of things. But I did, like my parents did teach me a lot of things too.
But who gave you that work ethic that requires?
Well, that's what I'm
to
saying.
teach that math.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Is that me? Is that my parents? Because it's not the school system.
See, there is a study done. Have you ever seen this Facebook clip? There are monkeys. So there are monkeys, and there's this ladder.
Okay.
Oh my god, I totally want to get this right.
Okay.
I'm looking up this.
Okay, while you look it up, one thing I want
yeah.
to say, that's why I heard of, because my dad was a teacher, of course, and he went to these, I guess workshop type things. I kind of liked hearing about that sort of stuff where they look at alternative ways of teaching. So my dad tried to actually implement that into his class, where one thing, he had a class where he didn't give out homework at all. It was just straight, he was teaching whatever the top math would have been the topic, because he was a math teacher, and it was strictly looking at teaching those people the subject math for that, and pretty much how to kind of advance yourself in whatever topic.
It was teaching you how to learn.
Yeah.
Which I think, and you got that from someone. That's why I questioned you. Did you teach that to yourself? Because Arnold Schwarzenegger says, I am not a self-made man. You hear this self-made millionaire or whatever. No one's self-made. Everything is a reflection of what you've been told. I'm going back to this thing. I found it. So a group of scientists placed 5 monkeys in a cage, and in the middle, a ladder with bananas on the top. Every time a monkey went up the ladder, the scientists soaked the rest of the monkeys with cold water. After a while, every time a monkey would start up the ladder, the others would pull it down and beat it up. After a time, no monkey would dare try climbing the ladder, no matter how great the temptation. The scientists then decided to place one of the monkeys. The first thing this new monkey did was start to climb the ladder. Immediately, the others pulled him down and beat him up. After several beatings, the new monkey learned never to go up the ladder, even though there was no evident reason not to, aside from the beatings. The second monkey was substituted, and the same occurred. The first monkey participated in the beating of the second monkey. A third monkey was changed, and the same was repeated. The fourth monkey was changed, resulting in the same before the fifth was finally replaced as well. What was left was a group of 5 monkeys that, without ever having received a cold shower, continued to beat up any monkey who attempted to climb the ladder. If it was possible to ask the monkeys why they beat up on all those who attempted to climb the ladder, their most likely answer would be, I don't know, it's just how things are done around here.
Okay.
I don't know how that related after reading to that.
It's so cool. I was like, what is that?
I want to on the school system though. I see you seem very anti-school system, but
I just think there should be change.
yeah, I definitely agree. There needs to be,
Because these monkeys are not thinking for themselves.
Well, there's
these
no
monkeys
why.
are exactly. There's no why.
But that being said, I made an earlier statement that said, there's a lot of I was talking about how the government should present an avenue for us to be better, but we don't have to take that avenue. You could argue the public school system, it gives us everything we need. We have to create the why. And it's with the 3 faucets you said, yourself, your parents, and the school system. It's the school system gives you a lot of foundations. They could improve, maybe promote a little more stuff, but they give you...
This goes back to that, because who is gonna create the why when you're getting beat up by all these other monkeys? There is no reason to create a why. Justin, there's no reason to create a why, because he is one of those monkeys who has been cold showered every time he tried to get the bananas.
Then the monkeys will always stay monkeys, and then the Elon Musks will be Elon Musks. And then we'll just always have a divide, and there's nothing we can do.
So,
And I'm gonna die.
But that.
That's fine. Hopefully.
Can that change if the public school system changes?
I don't know.
Well, I just...
Because I look at you. You're a very interesting person.
Perfect.
Hell, it's Mike Python.
Yeah, it was good.
Now,
I
Kith.
love you, Evan. I love you.
But I always think about I want to homeschool my kids
Okay.
because it's just such a different. But I don't want them to miss the social aspect that requires you going to school.
That was the one thing I did like about school was the social part.
It teaches you to grow up, and because I grew up in that system, and I'm not a part of that system. I am a part of that system, but I'm different than that system. It was my parents who instilled the out of the box thinking.
I think I loved being homeschooled.
Yeah.
I didn't need the social aspect. I'm a very I'm a loner.
You didn't need it, or you got it from other places.
Either or.
Well,
Like,
no, there's totally two different things.
we hung out. There's these things called homeschooling groups. Okay. Where a bunch
Sounds
of homeschoolers get
cultish.
together and we sacrifice a goat in the basement and have a sex orgy.
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 See,
We got together at
Look
like
at all
once
these
in a while.
perfins and
We got together every once in a while and
their
played
orgy.
soccer or played hockey. But for the majority of the time, it was just me in my room or me at the dining room table, like learning stuff.
See, I think
Okay.
everyone needs a.
I was going to speak more, but it's okay.
Okay, shut up. He was talking.
I was talking.
Go on, John.
Okay, I think everyone needs at least some type of social thing because I think collaboration is the best way to advance ourselves because you can put
You're
two
so
different
fucking right.
ideas, two or more even, different ideas together to form a
That's-
huge idea.
You're so right. And
That's where I was getting to.
Okay.
I was going to say, I loved being homeschooled. However, I think ideally it would probably be a person growing up in the system, the school system, okay? Learning the things that they teach, being involved in that environment that so many people are involved in, okay? I'm the weird one out. I'm the one that's different because I never went to school.
you have your shirt off right now.
But you do too, bro.
I'm not liking my MC either way. So.
But then you would also have your parents who would teach you stuff themselves and wouldn't be lazy. Like Derek has said before in this podcast, some parents are just lazy and don't want to teach their kids. If you have the three-way balance between the school system teaching you things, you growing up in that system, understanding how that works, your parents teaching you things from their life experiences, maybe adding on or even disagreeing with stuff that you learned in school and giving you another option, saying, hey, just because you go to school all day, whatever, every day, doesn't necessarily mean that you have to follow every single thing that you've learned there. And then the third part would be you as a person, as an individual, coming to your own conclusions with the information and avenues you've been presented. I think would be the three-way balance. Ideally.
It is a balance, but it goes back to I don't know how many fucking times I've said that this podcast goes back to so many times. Derek's point on your parents feeding you shit food. Your parents grew up in that system.
Yes.
How often do you think is it your parents? How often do you think if you surveyed out of 100 people on the street that your parents told you to not follow everything that you learned in school? Because there's a lot of parents out here that are like Justin.
Yes. But they also had their three avenues that they could have done.
Why did your parents decide to homeschool you?
Because, actually, I'm not sure.
You haven't asked them? You need
No,
to
I
ask
have
them.
asked them, but right now I've been drinking a little, and I'm
Wasn't
not sure
it-
if I can remember.
When you told me, wasn't it because of Quebec's crazy
Yes,
laws?
that's what it was. That's what it was.
It's
Thank
straight
you,
up like
Derek.
this Quebec is
because
shit.
Quebec's laws are crazy. That's why they decided to homeschool us.
What do you mean crazy?
Well, I was born in Quebec. I was raised in Quebec.
Tabarnak.
So were my. Well, no, I was the only one born in Quebec, but my other siblings were raised in Quebec. Okay. In Quebec, if your you have to go to the same school. Like there's English and French school. You have to go to the same school that your parents went to. My dad's not from Canada. So we had to go to, if we went to school, we would have had to have gone to French school because my mom is from Quebec and she went to French school. But my dad doesn't speak French. My first language is French actually, but my mom stopped speaking French to us because my dad's like, I can't understand my kids. Please speak to them in English when I'm at work. So they were like, we don't want to send our kids to this French school. And they decided to homeschool us because of that.
Okay. See, I don't want. I think it'd probably be. It's an egotist. I think it's an egotistical thing for me to think that I could teach my children better than I think they'd probably gain more away from me, and the time they do, they gain what they can.
I just think it's important to teach your kids what you've learned, but also impart on them, because I've never been to school, but from what I've heard all of my friends say, from what you guys say, that they don't really try to teach you to think for yourselves. I think it's important for
There's
you
too many
to explain to your kids your life experience, what you think to be true and what you think to be right and good, but also explain to them you are your own person and you need to make these choices for yourself. Because that's what my parents did. My parents are religious, right? They're very religious. But at one point in my life, they took me aside and they said, we don't care if you believe what we believe. We just want you to be a good person and we want you to be happy.
See,
See,
that's why I think we still.
See.
Why? I think we just need to work on the school system. Like, I'm not saying homeschooling's bad. If that's for you,
It's not bad.
That's for you. But I
It's all
personally
circumstantial.
not that I like the school system itself, but I liked the whole going to school aspect. It's just working on teaching them more free thinking, because again, my dad was a teacher and he saw the problems with the school system, so he also taught me more of a free thinking idea, and he was also teaching me stuff outside of school. And like, my mom is a nurse, but she taught me more of, I guess, sort of a free thinking, where not always to just pretty much go for, like, you know, the doctor offers you pills, to just go for that and think that's the solution. She taught me to kind of look at maybe other options and working on myself as well, rather than just taking these pills thinking that's the solution to stuff.
That's a huge other subject
Yeah, no,
that I
that's
don't
not-
even
That's another
want.
podcast.
Yeah, 100%.
I want to say, like, our school system, like we said, like, could improve, but like we got to scale it way back to like early life, like raising your kid, like even just like not even like before you can talk to your kid, just wiring your kid right. Like I keep relating things
How
to
do you
computers.
wire your kid right?
See, I don't know if that's where our education system fails. I've never been told how to be a good parent, and nobody knows, but everyone knows how to be a parent. You have an accident and then you have a baby and you're a parent. But like, nobody knows how to properly be a
came
parent.
inside of you.
But like, yeah.
very true.
But like, early life is literally like having a baby is like building a computer, and like the more work you put into it, and like the more like you connect shit in it, the more it can like function, right? Like,
Is it your-
you need to build brain connections, and
There's
like
so many examples you've given in this podcast
Wait,
of computers.
No, but it's good.
It's so funny.
No, it's a good
No,
topic.
it's right. It's
just
we're
more funny.
that-
because
people
we're
understand-
in a simulation.
exactly.
Oh my god! I am God. Oh my
But
god!
yeah, like our brains are like computer-like, not computer-like, but like
We
you
are
can-
computer-like. We are computers.
Yeah, like there's just
we work in
connections,
algorithms.
and the more you can make the connections, and then you know that little computer better, you can teach it easier, better than the school system can.
So your thinking is that in order to be a good parent, you need to make the connections rather than showing a destination. You need
Yeah.
to be the line rather than the dot in the connect the dots.
I think every parent's goal Yeah.
I like that analogy.
I that clicked
do
in my
too.
brain right
That's
when you
very
said
good.
that.
That's what I wanna do.
You need to be the line rather than the dot.
You need to give them every possible line.
You need
As
I
many as you
agree.
can.
I
One
agree.
thing
I agree.
I like going to Lawrence Fishburne.
You
and,
probably make a good dad, Derek.
Boys in
Yeah, I
the
probably
Hood.
would, Derek. Right now, maybe in 3 or 4 years.
He's like, I don't want kids. Fuck.
That's fucked.
But
We could talk about
We
that.
can get that to. We can cut. Start a new podcast. We'll get on that.
going to Lawrence Fishburne in Boys in the Hood.
CSI.
No, Boys in the Hood, man.
The Matrix, right?
Pretty much, he says to his kid, anyone can be a parent or a dad, he said, but it takes a real man to be a father. Same can go towards women and being a mother. But pretty much, like, yeah, anyone can have a kid, of course, but it's a difference to be a good parent, which that's one thing where going to my fears being a father and having kids is
What's your
why
fear?
I'm skeptical. Being a good parent.
See, that is exactly what bad parents don't have.
Kent,
I was about to say that. That's why
Bad
you would
parents
make a
don't have
good
that
parent.
fear. Bad parents
That's
aren't
true.
scared of being bad parents because they are bad parents.
I just want to digress back to the opinion on the school system. So there was a school teacher, my history teacher in grade 11. I'm disrespecting her by not remembering her name right now.
Damn.
But she was a great teacher because I dropped out of her class. She had a conversation with me and she said, Evan, you know what? You're a smart kid. It's unfortunate you're dropping out of my class, but don't think that's a reflection of yourself. And then my dad, later that year, found a bottle, a 26er of Smirnoff.
Nice.
I was getting lit, bro. I was having a
Nice.
good time. That was when I hooked up with like one of my first girlfriends back in the day. And he
Smirnoff's
sat
good for
down with
that.
me and he looked me in the face and he said, he printed out this fucking article about this kid who was killed because he overdosed on alcohol. He was duct taped by his friends and and he said, you are not smarter than this kid because he got better grades than you in school. That is a real thing that happened in my life. I was like, but I was already at that point where I was like, I understood that because God bless my mom. But that is something that the school system needs to change, that you are not a reflection of your numbers.
Wow.
Well, yeah.
Wow.
That is something that
God
needs
bless
to be...
that teacher.
No,
God
for
bless
real.
her.
Well, yeah.
And my mom definitely respects
And your
that.
fucking mom.
A
And
lot
fuck
of people.
my dad for doing that.
Dude, what the fuck?
But he's coming into his own renaissance. Him as a person right now would not be that same person because he was coded in fear. That is fear.
He was trying to help, but he just didn't realize what.
He didn't understand how to help.
He's his own person on his own journey.
Well, a lot of
and
like,
you're a teaching tool to
at
him.
least in our society, like a lot of like self-worth early on comes from grades. Like people who get good grades are like held up high, and then you feel shit. Like Bobby in a classroom setting
Fucking love
feels
Bobby.
shitty because his grades are worse than a lot of people. But like, is he less smart than any of us? What is smart? Like,
He is so emotionally connected.
yeah.
He is so emotionally. He can
He
look
is
you
one
in
of the,
the
he's
eyes.
probably the best, right? He should have won the songwriting award if he had to put shit together this
I
year.
agree. And it goes back to a podcast I was listening to about this lady who wrote Wild. I don't know if you guys ever heard of
You
the book
told
Wild.
us.
There is
about
such a
it.
thing as emotional
Yeah.
intelligence.
But yeah.
He is transparent. He is vulnerable with his feelings. Success is transparency.
Uh-huh.
He is vulnerable with himself. That is success right there.
Yes.
My dad was not vulnerable with himself saying that I've made mistakes, so therefore he taught me a wrong lesson.
Is it
when he sat down?
vulnerable with other people, though, or vulnerable with himself?
Vulnerable with himself. That's where it starts, right?
Yes. I don't necessarily think Bobby's vulnerable with himself, but he is vulnerable with other people.
I think he questions himself.
Maybe, but not To the extent that he probably should.
Yeah, well, let's get off of
Well, yeah,
specific
that's true.
people. Let's get off of specific people.
I was just using it as an
No,
example.
yeah,
And hopefully
exactly.
he hears this and like
Smartens up. Fuck.
does
yeah, but
see
yeah,
something
no,
like,
that's very true. It's like all I want to do right now is make people question themselves.
Yeah.
Well,
And I-
like, I'll go even to high school, and, like, I felt really fucking stupid because maybe I didn't have the worst grades, but I thought that my grades weren't good enough.
Because
or whatever.
you saw yourself within those numbers.
Well,
and that's
I
another
even saw,
problem.
like, although I didn't know at the time, but my dad said he didn't do the best in high school, but he did excel in college, and I feel like that's where I am as well. But I felt very stupid during high school because I wasn't seeing these grades, and I'd always been taught that grades are everything pretty much.
That's another distinction.
That's a really fucked up thing, man.
It is a fucked up
I got-
thing, but that's such a reality within
I got
high
another
school.
one for you. Well, like
I have a thought after that.
I also-
Everyone
We're in
has
queue.
I just
thoughts
wanted
right now.
to add on quickly
Oh,
to what.
Hurry the
I
fuck
was
up,
saying.
John.
You know what, Derek? You can go.
Oh,
was just
no,
saying-
Evan.
I,
You fucked
But
it
it's
up.
health-
You
Okay, no.
stupid
No,
bitch.
Like-
sorry.
Derek, go ahead.
I'm not sure.
Go,
Go,
ahead,
John.
Derek.
Go
You
ahead.
need to
John.
hurry up. We're on a podcast, bro. Say your piece. You said you need to. I said go.
You can go, Derek.
Oh my god.
I'll just go. I'll go.
John, you
You
fuck.
But I was gonna say-
sensitive fuck, Evan.
I was like on the opposite side. I think I did pretty well in high school. I took a lot and did pretty good. And
Did you feel like you were doing that for yourself though, or did you feel like you were doing it for those grades?
Definitely for the grades because look where I am. But like a lot
What
of
does
my
that mean?
What does that
Yeah,
mean?
what the
Nah,
hell
we're
does that
getting
mean?
But like
Okay, we're getting
Jesus.
a lot of my
Christ.
self-worth was like, okay, like I go to a lot of parties. I have a couple friends, and like my grades are better than I'm better than these people. And then like I went to university. I did all right and dropped out and came to a music program. And like a lot of my self-worth still like is like, okay, I'm smart. I did well in high school. I'm still smart, but like I'm not very successful, and like my self-worth based around that is pretty hollow, right? Like
What does success mean to you?
surviving, like making enough money to eat. That's all I want, but like,
Is that it? Or because I think if that was really it, you'd be working at McDonald's right now.
well, that's my pessimistic survival or pessimistic success. You know, like I don't feel confident that I'll achieve more than just getting by. But like the whole grades thing, it's like
Okay, so
I still yeah, it's like
because you are able to
I'm not-
survive, you are able to survive. But what does successful mean? Like that you saying that doesn't reflect just getting by when you say it like that.
getting by on something that I like doing, I guess.
So
Music
yeah.
would be the
so having a passion for what you're doing every day.
yeah, exactly. Like doing what I like, but still like sometimes I don't have confidence that I'll make it in the industry half the time. And I still look back like I had good grades and shit, or like even this program coming into it, I was like like I got an ego problem, but like
That was just like slid under. You know when your mom comes in the room and she's like, "You need to clean your bedroom," and you're
Yeah.
like, "All right, shove everything under the bed."
yeah.
That's what you just did with that little comment right there.
But like, no, like I came in this program, it's like I'm better than these people, straight up. But like, why am I better than these people?
Okay, so why?
High school grades was why.
Do you think that's why?
That's a lot of where my self confidence comes from,
Okay.
and self doubt.
So does your self doubt come from you knowing that that's not a real?
Yeah. Like I have the weirdest complex where I think I'm better than everyone, but I also hate myself.
Cognitive dissonance, bro.
It's the
Cognitive
worst.
dissonance. But see, that's a very interesting concept.
And like I'm so aware of it, but like you can't fix it, right? It's just
I
like
think you can.
I think you
because
well, I haven't been able to.
what
Yet.
I personally think
The yet's important.
Yeah.
100%. And it's what I personally think is it's just like success in life. It's like what I think of success. I have the same feelings as you. I am building who I am around what I do and not who I am. You are building your ego around my grades are better than yours.
Yeah.
It's not who I am as a person. And I think that's exactly what, and I do it too, and I'm sure John does it too. I'm sure fucking Nathan does it too. Somewhere deep down.
Yeah, probably.
somewhere deep down that's going on.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's not really you. And once you start self-doubting, you understand that that's not you.
Yeah.
You understand. You're like, oh, shit. Like, that's not really, that's a fake ledge. Like, you're going to fall off
Yeah.
that ledge as soon as you realize. And you're kind of lying to I'm lying to myself. I remember my dream was to be like a producer or a rapper. And it's like, I was building my ego off of that dream, off of that, of what I was telling people, and off of what I wanted to be. I was like, that's not real.
Yeah.
And it's so hard to fall from that ledge, but you do eventually. It's
At
undeniable.
least
there's
hopefully
only-
you do. Hopefully you do.
Hopefully you do. Yeah, exactly. That's
Yeah.
very true. That's a good
You
way to
gotta
look
reach
at it.
rock
don't.
bottom, dude.
So, what has that self-reflection led to you by the end of this year?
Fuck if I know.
When did you first think about that, though?
I don't know. As
Okay.
long as I can, like, even through high school, like, I definitely, like, still, like, I was like that, but I don't think I was at the point of realizing it was grade based.
Okay.
But, like, I don't know. It's weird. I don't.
If you
I
take
know-
away your grades right now, what do you think of yourself?
Not much.
Okay.
Like, if I looked at my life outside of education, I haven't achieved anything.
What
worth-
is achieving stuff, though?
My perception of self comes from comparing to other people,
Okay.
which is, I know, not good, but I don't
Yes.
know any other way, right?
Okay.
I hate how meta that is.
I
am right
It's
now.
true, though. Yeah, because I do the same
Because
thing.
you can recognize how fundamentally flawed you are, but it's so hard to change.
I do the exact same thing.
Have you suffered from any sort of... Have you been at a point in your life where you hated looking yourself in the mirror?
Not really.
Okay. Because that's the point that I reached, where I looked at myself in the mirror. I was like, oh,
Like,
this person who has these I can't
think
stand him anymore.
the
To be
Same-
totally honest, are you going to the point where you're saying you have to reach that?
Not necessarily. Not necessarily, but I had to for me.
Because I never reached that. I think I don't want to say totally.
Yeah.
I think I get what you're saying.
yeah.
But
I
I've
don't
never
fully
reached
get
that
what I'm
point.
saying, though, so.
It's a different, and we're in that stage of life, though. I think I'm coming into that stage of life of being okay and understanding who I am and not what I have.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. That's important.
But
For
I was,
me- Sorry.
I was gonna say, like, I haven't reached the point of, like, it might metabolize differently for people. Like, I haven't reached the point of the mirror, but, like, it came through even, like, well, actually, I struggle with it lately. When I'm not doing stuff, I don't like being alone in my head.
Okay.
Like, if I spend a day in my pajamas on my computer and, like, I'm just, like, not, like, I don't do anything, then it's like, I am so toxic. Like,
I understand that.
I feel the exact same way.
yeah.
And I definitely felt that way this year. I was like, wow, I'm not fucking doing anything. I need to do something right now.
Yeah.
Do you...
Hey, I'm
Okay.
sorry. I need to finish my thought.
Okay, sorry.
And as I was coming through, I recognized that I was hating on myself because I was not doing what I want to do, but it was so hard for me to do that. It was such a
Yeah.
battle within myself.
It's weird, right? You, like, split on yourself. And
Such
it's
a
like,
strange time. It's such a strange mindset because I totally relate to what I think. The way you're explaining
Yeah.
it makes me to relate to you, what you're saying. But then there was this point where I stopped. I still get it some days. You know what I mean? There are still some days where I think more than I do.
yeah. Oh fuck, those are the worst.
Exactly, and those are the worst. And the days where I do, and I feel like, holy shit, an hour just went by, and I wasn't even thinking about it. It's like, oh my god, it's so relieving.
Yeah, but like I would work. I would like with Ottawa Special. Actually, maybe because
Who cares?
I'd work.
worked with
I'd work.
OSE.
Ottawa Special Events. I would work a ridiculous like 24-hour shift, and I didn't have any bad thoughts those 24 hours. I was working and having a good time with my coworkers. And then it's like as soon as you sit at home for 24 hours, it's like, oh, time sits still.
Yeah. I think we've all been there.
And where did those thoughts come from, though? That's the first thing. I know I wasn't living up to my own. I wasn't living up to what I was making myself to
You
be.
set your own standard too high, and
It's not even that. It's like I was reflecting someone I was not.
yeah,
And that's where that came from. It's like, this is. I wanted to be like, I'm going to do this. I'm going to make beats.
do you
Like, I'm
think
going to be successful. I'm going to do this. Like, you should be want to be with me because I'm going to be successful, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, that's not reality. And that's where that battle came from, is because it wasn't reality. And I was lying to myself. And I knew I was lying to myself the entire time.
Yeah.
And it's such a battle. But ever since I've been doing this, and like, I just, I put who I think I should be away and just be who I am. It's become such a different.
That's so important, man.
It's such
So
a.
important.
if the school system could teach us just to be who you are,
And it goes back to that. It's like we're set up to be. We're set up to be workers. We're set up to fit in place, and when we don't, we hate ourselves for it.
yeah,
Do you find it hard to forgive yourself?
a little bit, yeah. Like I still, the one example that will hit home with you, I still am so pissed off about the bass for your ISP. Like every
That's
time you
funny.
bring up it, like fucking kills me.
That's funny,
Fucking
man.
hate it.
Well, okay. Well, I do want to say that I do I completely forgave you for that. Like, don't
I
worry about it.
I acknowledge that you like forgive
What
me. But
happened?
it's,
Tell me.
he asked me to learn the bass for one of his original songs
Yeah.
for his ISP, and like he gave me more than enough time,
Yeah.
like 2 months at least, maybe a month and a half.
Yeah.
Just never got around to it, and then the day came, and I was like, "Fuck." Didn't happen. He did the bass because he already knew the part, which is like, why'd you ask me to do it? But that's besides the point. I just
Because it's
didn't.
fun to
But why didn't you
collaborate.
do it?
Yeah.
I don't know.
But you do know.
Well, I procrastinate. I didn't like think
Is
like
it pure procrastination? Because that's easy to fix. Procrastination is easy to fix. You just do it, right? Like that's an easy. If procrastination is your only problem, I remember my philosophy teacher in grade 11
Yeah.
told me this. Procrastination is your biggest problem. You're fucking fine.
Yeah.
And you're totally fine if procrastination is your only problem.
it's I guess it goes deeper than like motivational issues. I guess like I know what I should do, but I just don't do it.
Okay. Can
You
I
know?
go off a little bit on tangent
Please.
for a sec?
Tangent.
Baby.
Go.
Yes. What I was trying to say before about personally, I've never met anybody who is more stubborn than me. I don't know if you guys think that, but I'm so stubborn, but at the same time, I'm also very
You're pretty open.
I
open.
think that
That's the thing. Like so for me, I had to get to the point where I couldn't stand to look at myself in the mirror anymore before I changed, because I was so fucking stubborn that I had to learn the hard way for that. Okay. And after that point, I was kind of like, so the reason I can't stand to look at myself in the mirror is because that's not me who I see in the mirror. It's the person who I think I should be, the person who other people tell me I should be. And then I reached that point and I was like, I'm not this person.
Real Michael Jackson.
And I
hours.
need to stop pretending that I am this person
And
forgive myself for everything that I did to try and be that person because I didn't know better. But when I reached that point, I was like, I don't want to reach the end of my life and go, I never actually was myself.
you saying it's something people tell you to be. And it's like, I don't even think...
Or expectations that people have for you.
Exactly, but I don't even think that should be brought up because it's fuck the other people.
Well, that was what happened to me, though.
Yeah, I get that.
But I had to reach that point to where I could
Were
say...
your parents pressuring you into being someone you weren't?
I don't know if that they were pressuring me or if it was I wanted to live up to their expectations.
Exactly, and that's just a circumstance where I think you need to take full responsibility.
But I did. That's the thing.
Exactly,
I
you
reached that
did.
point, and I was like...
But for someone who's
My
not, you know what I'm saying?
Someone who's not what?
Someone who's not taking responsibility for that. Someone saying, somebody wants me to be someone else that I'm not. It's like, that is you.
Yes.
That is you. That needs to be your decision. You can't blame it. That's me and my Republican views. You know what I mean? You need to pull yourself by the bootstraps and be who you want to be. It's not someone else telling you who to be.
Yeah.
It's you.
No, you're 100% right.
That's where you need to take responsibility.
There's like, for me, it's like, I worry a lot what other people think of me, but that's still me.
Yeah. When I
That's
reached the point of not giving a fuck is when it's like,
no, but
thank
that
God
and
I
that's-
reached that point.
And that's, like you just said, that's a reflection of you. When you are in an argument with someone and someone's yelling at you, that is a reflection of them.
Yes.
When you are looking at someone else and be like, I want to be that person, that is a reflection of you.
Yeah.
Yes.
That is a
Or
reflection.
even like, what is John thinking of me right now? That's still my thought process. Like, I'm putting thoughts in his head. That's me, not him.
and when I went
I'm
over on,
liking that you're opening up. That's one.
Oh, I do too.
and when I went over on episode 2, if you guys go listen to
I
it,
will. I will.
I did listen
meh.
a little.
it's you totally just lost my train of thought.
Oh, fuck.
If you go back to episode 2, it's just no. Okay, I thought it would work.
We're
Oh
talking
my
about
God.
reflections of people.
What's John thinking?
Oh my god.
No.
It's
This is the
gone.
third time this podcast.
It is
Bro,
beer
I've
number
been-
6. So.
Yeah, it is, but John distracted the fuck out of me.
He has that effect on people.
That was your fault, John.
I was
No,
just
it's
trying
taking
to
responsibility.
compliment Derek. Okay.
It's taking all it is it is a reflection of you. You need to understand when it's you who's thinking that and not the other. And this is it. It goes back to your ego. It goes back to your ego. If you go listen to episode 2, I say, when I'm thinking...
Shameless plug.
No, go listen to episode 2. When I'm listening to episode 2, I listened to it last night. And I was like, when
probably
I
listen
am
tomorrow.
thinking about myself, that is when I am at the worst. When I am focused on myself, that is when I'm anxious. That is when I'm depressed. When
Yes.
I don't think about other people. When I'm thinking about how you think about me, that is when I'm at my worst.
Yeah,
Yeah.
100%.
It goes back to that eye contact that I haven't uploaded, but it goes back to that
True.
that talk we had the other day of when you have eye contact with someone. It goes back to that conversation. Me and Nathan both felt that when we don't have eye contact with someone, we are at our worst because that's me thinking about how you think about me and not how I'm taking what you say.
Yes.
It's
How
Heavy.
how honest do you honestly? How honest do you think you are to yourself and with yourself? It's not.
that's
not
such a
even to do
hard
with-
question to ask, though.
I know.
If
but-
you're not God,
well, I think everybody knows.
I guess.
though.
Yeah. I don't,
At least if they don't know how or why, they do know when they're not being honest with themselves.
I don't know if you know that, but that feeling.
That
you
feeling, that's what I'm
get,
saying.
That feeling of
Yeah.
lowness is that.
Yes, that's
is
what I'm
that.
saying.
I don't know if you know exactly that's the action
But it's your
that is
intuition or
happening,
subconscious saying that you're not actually being real with yourself.
but it's not saying that. It's saying I feel like shit, and then you need to explore that thought.
yes, if you don't, that's what That's
Exactly.
where problems arise.
That's when you need to explore that thought.
Yeah.
Are we gonna end it on that?
well, I asked the question,
Okay, yeah.
so I want to know
How
the answer.
honest am I with myself?
How on? Yes,
Let's ask everybody.
yes. We were just talking about Derek's situation, so
'Cause
Like,
he-
I'm fairly. Sometimes I think I'm like, well, I'm honest and I'm also hard on myself. But
that's an issue.
is being hard on yourself being honest with yourself though,
No.
or is that's what I
I
think.
want to like shout out to Bobby again. Like
What a guy.
He's super hard on himself, and it's like it'd be the same as like a hater just making shit up or like being too critical. Like
A hater within himself.
yeah, like
Yes.
he's
Whoa.
not honest with himself. He's too like you know it's not
He's too
true.
critical
It's
Yeah.
not true
in
honesty.
a negative
Exactly.
way.
He's
I
not
don't-
taking the good and the bad. He's just taking the bad, and it's not necessarily dishonest, but it's not the full truth.
And it goes back to fucking another shameless plug, motherfucker.
Oh,
Episode
yeah.
1, we talk
Click
about
the link below.
we talk about understanding, and within that conversation, we talk about having empathy with yourself.
Yes.
That's where it starts.
That's so meta.
You have empathy with yourself. You need to have empathy for other people, and you need to have empathy for yourself. I dealt with that exact same thing. My motherfucking father had so much hard expectations with me. Motherfucking father. Whoa.
And that's been our
so
show
funny.
for tonight.
Motherfucking father. But he has so much expectations on me, and I did not learn how to have empathy for myself if it wasn't for my mother.
Uh-huh.
And it wasn't for that
Yeah.
balance. And that empathy is what you need to deal with yourself, because this is your life and you're dealing with it right now, and no motherfucker knows what you feel like. And you need to look at yourself and be realistic with yourself. Realistic on the side of having expectations for yourself and understanding what you can accomplish and understanding how far you can go, but understanding that it's all right. That you need to take the baby steps. That it's like you don't
Yeah.
need to be where you think you need to be.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. That's hard, though.
It's hard as fuck.
To understand that you're not
I'm glad
where
we're-
you want to be, but have the faith in yourself that you will reach there.
And I'm glad we're having this conversation, because this just reminds me of that myself.
Yeah.
I want to remind myself. I'm going to write that in my fucking journal tomorrow morning, because I'm going to remind myself in the morning about that thought right there. Because that's so important. It's unbelievably important, because it's just freeing.
Yeah.
It's like it's
But that's not an excuse for you to do badly either, right? That's
No.
important to understand.
100%.
That's not like I didn't do well today. I'll try again tomorrow. Whip, whip.
Oh, yeah, it's
like
not a participation trophy.
It's like
It's more like recognizing it's hard, and it's okay if it's hard, but to
exactly
keep on going.
Exactly. I do think some people use that as an excuse.
If you go watch the McDonald's biopic, The Founder on Netflix, you know, he starts off with this thing and he's listening to a motivational thing. He's selling shakers at the beginning of this movie. He's making milkshakes.
Nice.
And he says, you know, intelligent people that are not successful, that's almost a cliche. But persistence is what is the fucking deciding factor. And that's the entire key to that movie. And that's a good movie. Shout out to The Founder. Go watch The Founder. Right, John?
I guess
Would you just wake up from a nap?
He kind of tuned out on that.
Honestly, kind of.
Jesus Christ.
I did kind of tune out.
Okay, so how honest are you with yourself, John?
I'll have to go with I'd say fairly honest with myself. Like, I struggled.
Barely. That's like fucking Nathan's.
'Kay, no,
Maybe
no, no.
I believe in him. Maybe. I don't know.
Okay.
No, like what I'm trying to say is
I'll
I
fucking
think
fight you, bud. No, just kidding.
for the most part I am very honest with myself, but that's more of a very recent time that I've been like that.
So it's a work in progress.
Yes.
See, because asking myself the same question, I am in that process right now.
Oh yeah.
Because I think this year has been a huge growth period for me.
Me
Yeah,
too.
yeah. God bless MIA for that, if nothing else.
God bless the people. Fuck the program.
True, the people in the program.
Fuck the program. I'm going to be straight up.
Damn.
Colin Mills, you need to look at yourself in the mirror and say you need to do a better job.
Oh, shit.
This episode of the podcast brought to you by Music Industry Arts and McDonald's.
Fuck them.
Yeah, but
Okay, McDonald's
never
are-
would have met
you're right.
John or Evan, because I already knew Derek, but
You already knew Derek before the program?
Intro.
yeah, intro.
Okay, but you knew John during intro.
No,
No,
I
in
was in a
different
different
sections.
section.
All I
Okay,
remember
true,
about
but I
John
was in
is-
an intro.
I knew Brandon because of Intro, because we were in the same
I wasn't in intro.
All I remember about John and intro was like, who's this Mexican-looking motherfucker?
All right.
No.
No,
Evan, how honest are you with yourself?
I think I'm working on it. Every day I'm working on it. Every single day I'm working on it. And I'm feeding off the benefits of how I'm working on it. I see this podcast. I see this collaboration of ideas we have right now. And that is me working on it. This is me understanding how I express myself. I used to think it was music. I used to like being for something that was like gonna put my ego on this pedestal. That was gonna make me who I am. And it just doesn't work because I fight against myself. And this is me being honest with myself. And this is me doing what I feel is natural.
His self-worth is not found in other people.
It's not. And it's just not fighting yourself. Doing what you love. I found that doing music, I love the product. I don't love the process.
Damn.
This podcast, I love the process. The product doesn't even matter to me. But I love the process. I love what we just had. It's like such a freeing feeling. It's such an unbelievable feeling.
I feel the same way with making beats.
No,
I've
exactly.
gotten more into the recording. I love the recording part and doing really weird shit, like trying to do just stuff I haven't seen before.
And we're all
recording.
done. And we're all done. We're all different. We're all cooked. Get out of the oven right now. Okay, we're all different though, and I understand now that is not who I am. And I understand that's not who I want to be because I was fighting myself constantly, trying to be like, that's me. I want to battle. I'm a competitive at nature. And I was like, I want it. But in reality, I'm never, ever going to be as good of a musician as Nathan or ever gonna be as good of a musician as Big Shovel. Like, you know what I mean? It's just not gonna happen. And I understand that because that's not my best create. It looks cool, and I'd love to be that rapper with the like J. Cole. I'd love to have that voice and love to have that platform, but that's not the platform I live more life, and I've taken more I've taken more different things. I've listened to more podcasts. Like, wow, there's different mediums to express yourself. Everyone needs to express themselves, and you need to find your medium, whether that be writing, whether that be writing a book, whether that be music, whether that be going to the wood shop and creating little clocks. Like, everyone needs to find a means of expression.
Yeah.
We at Canadian Music Week, we saw a performance like transformation, and Tom Jackson did it, and he said the one thing that always sticks with me was true humility, not this false humility, calling yourself out on mistakes, which I do all the time on stage. But like,
Didn't notice.
true humility is accepting your role and fulfilling it, and like that's exactly what you're talking. You know, this podcast right now, this is your role, and you're fulfilling it. Like. And the other thing I want to bring up, like you said, you're working on it. It's like that's like all anyone should take away from this is just like you should always be working on it.
Oh yeah,
like working on it is the key. Know yourself and work on it.
Yes,
100%. And it goes back, and false humility is a good point. It's like, no motherfucker wants you to hear that, oh, I did shit. It's like, no, you need to stand up for yourself, motherfucker.
Yeah.
Treat yourself with some empathy.
and accept other people's true feelings towards you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I appreciate that, Derek, by the way.
I just want to say that I really liked what you just said about the podcast as to how it's a collaboration of ideas and not a discussion of ideas, if you understand what I'm trying to say.
Isn't that the same thing?
Not really. Discussion is just talking about something. Collaboration implies that you're trying to work together for something.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
This is
Yeah.
It's not really a podcast more. It's just fucking group therapy.
That's exactly what I want it to be, though. That's like when I remember getting inspired by podcasts and getting inspired. It's like I remember listening to these podcasts that motivated me to do what I want to do. Back then, they motivated me to want to make music. That motivated me to want to reach my goals. And it's like that's all I ever want to do for other people.
Yeah, if you could just like impact someone in a positive way with this podcast, it'd be all fucking worth it.
It would be all fucking worth it.
Yeah.
Shout out
Excuse
to
me.
you, the listener.
Exactly.
God bless the listener.
God bless whoever actually sat
And we
through
say
this.
listener because there's probably only one.
It's gonna be me.
Now I'm gonna fire up Minecraft tomorrow
Thank
and
you.
play some
Yeah.
and
I'm
listen to
gonna- I'm
podcasts.
gonna
All right, well,
play
that's
fucking
it.
Minecraft. Fuck that.
I think we're done.
God bless the can opener.
Yeah, I appreciate all of you.
The beans are fried.
John, do you have anything to say?
Oh shit, it's
No.
coming off again.
All right. Fucking Bradford's not gonna like this one because it's like 3 hours long.
Oh, fuck him.
All right. Yeah.